All right, here we go, Tony Yayo. Welcome back to VladTV. Welcome back.
Talking New York, baby. First thing first, we gotta say rest in peace to Scooter.
Yes. I was gonna mention that actually.
Yeah.
That was gonna be the first thing I talk about.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite artists, man.
Really?
Yeah. Rest in peace to Scooter, man.
Yeah, you know, I had DJ Swamp Izzo here yesterday, and he was the guy who got Scooter to rap. He did Scooter's first mixtape.
Right.
In fact, it had Future on it, like saying Future for the first time on that mixtape. Like, Scooter didn't even want to rap.
Right.
He thought rap was corny. He was like in the streets.
Yeah.
And he would like push him and force him to rap. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And look what happened. Look what happened.
It's just crazy, bro.
Okay, so we're getting a little more of the story now. Apparently, it was his birthday. He was at these apartments, and some woman who, she was like 31 years old, she was on baddies or something. She calls in a fake 911 call and said that there was like a woman who's being like attacked and stripped down or whatever else.
Crazy. Yeah.
Police show up.
Yeah, full force.
Full force. Scooter
Because ain't
runs.
that shit called like squatting, right? That's when
That's
people
swatting,
like fake
or doxing, yeah.
That's fake. That's up. People do that, man. Like, or squat, like call police on you and you ain't even doing it.
Yeah, no, listen, I had this, one of the main streamers, Neon, you know, if you heard of him.
Yeah, I know.
Young kid. He said that his parents had to move because he got swatted so many times.
The PD would pull up to our house every day, Houston PD, and it was prank SWAT calls at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., like every day. They would send pizzas, and they would send me all meat pork pizza because I'm Muslim, so I can't eat it. So they're just trolling me, calling the cops, doing all this shit. And then at some point, I was just like, we can't, like, we just gotta move. Like, we can't stay here.
They had to go to a whole different home and, registered under a different name because he got swatted like a dozen times.
That's crazy.
Okay, so Scooter has the police called on him, even though he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
He runs. In the process, he jumps over the fence, and he ends up, I guess, puncturing his leg.
Dang.
And he bleeds to death.
Didn't they say he got shot, though? No.
Now, that's a rumor. That's a rumor. Young Thug was like, oh, Scooter got shot. The actual, like, coroner has announced that there was no shooting.
Dang,
it was a bad accident. And, I even went on Twitter and said, yo, this sounds suspicious. And, like, a lot of people in comments like, nah, like, I'm a paramedic. Like, this happens all the time. You, like, break your femur?
Yeah, because Scooter is the ultimate street in Atlanta. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when he dropped Columbia, that was one of the, that was a big hit for him.
Yeah.
And he just had other records because my son's friend, Suge, he locked up now. He used to listen to Scooter all the time. So he put me on even more Scooter shit. Like, every album that he dropped, you know what I mean? Rest in peace to him. And it's a fortunate thing because, he's one of the real ones. And he was crazy. He hit me in a DM, not too long ago. And I hit him back and, you know what I'm saying? I wish I would have linked up with him in Atlanta, but, was running around. You know what I mean? So rest in peace to Scooter. Because, he was like one of the ultimate street man, in Atlanta, man. People love Scooter, man. I love his music.
Yeah.
And everything he contributes. It's a sad thing, man. And people calling the police for no reason is crazy, but it's the world we live in now, man.
Let me ask you a question. I asked Swamp Izzo the same question, and I'll let you know what he said. Why do you think in a situation like this, the police show up, you didn't do anything, why would you run?
I mean, I just think it's in the instinct, people's natural instinct when you in the hood, like you see police get low. But I think us as artists in this game we in, we like us, hip hop police was watching G-Unit for years. They used to say I was #1 on their list. You know what I'm saying? Before Lil Wayne and all them motherfuckers were getting locked up in New York City. We the #1 targets. So, I mean, I think evolving is like, you show love to the hood, but sometimes, most rappers die in their hood. You know what I'm saying? You heard Boosie say it years ago. Most rappers die in their city or in their hood.
Right, but look, if the police show up right now, and let's just say the police storm through the studio right now.
Right.
I'm not going to run. I didn't do anything.
But you ain't do nothing and you don't have nothing on you, but most.
And this is the problem. And that's like what Swamp Izzo said.
I was raised, I think we always raised to the police knock on the door, run. Especially if you don't know what's in the house. You don't know who's here. You don't know. You don't want to get caught in the situation. You don't know.
But I don't know, man. Like,
I mean, it depends where you at. You know what I'm saying? Like, evolving is like I said, you see me in the Swiss Alps, and somebody in my comments was like, damn, Yayo's evolving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went from being on the corner in Southside Jamaica, Queens, to being in the Swiss Alps. So people, places, and things play a major thing, especially when it comes to artists. Stay getting pulled over, stay getting, but not every cop is bad. You know, when I'm at the Garden, you know, a cop will jump out and be like, yeah, I want to take a picture with you. Or, you know what I'm saying? So that's when I realized that I evolved, because we went from records saying the police to police wanting to take pictures with us. You know, they fans. So that's it's a strange feeling. But when I go to the Knicks game and the police is like, oh, yeah, yo, go ahead, man. And it's like you realize that you evolved as a person.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
you right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Police storm in here. I'm like, yo, the police is out in the lobby right now. They about to storm in here. Would you run or would you stick around and see what happens?
I don't think I would run, because 9 times out of 10, one of them police would be a fan of my music or a fan of G-Unit, because we evolved. We got bigger than, you know what I'm saying? Like, we evolved, bro. It bugs me out sometimes when I see people. I told you I'm at the Garden, the cop jumps out. I'm like, what the did I do? And he want to take a picture with me. So, you know, it's levels, you know what I'm saying? Like, what we did as G-Unit as a group, and I always think like a Eminem, because he was a big ass, you know, artist selling 16 million records, and Dr. Dre, and it's like we evolved. So it went from running from the police to police wanting to take pictures to going out the country and you got a police escort to leave the venue and don't get caught in traffic. So you start looking at totally different.
Yeah, I remember when I interviewed the DOC from NWA, and he was blind drunk, right? Swerving all over the freeway. Cops pulled him over. They realize he's the DOC. He's got plaques in his back seat. They take photos with him and let him go. He gets back in his car, passes out drunk, crashes into a tree, you know, goes through the window, vocal cords permanently damaged.
Right.
And we talked about how had the cops just arrested him that night for DUI,
Yeah, but you
as
know,
opposed
now,
to being
now
a
them
fan.
cops got body cams. You see them locking up a mayor in New Jersey for DWI.
Right. Well, this is back. This is
You
like
know
the,
what I'm
this is
saying?
like the 90s. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
so
or-
now they got body cams. So if you drunk, they gonna have to lock you up. They don't give a if you who the you are. They got body cam and it's right there. They can't just give you that pass. But back in the days, no body cam. Yeah, I think they would give a lot of big artists a pass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, they took photos with him. Literally.
Definitely.
But, okay, let me ask you a question. How many times have you run from the police? If you were to just count in your head.
It could be. It's a good amount.
20?
I wouldn't say not 20. Probably a good
10?
See, I'm the type of dude when I know like back in the days they'd be like, yo, it's Task Force Tuesday or Task Force Thursday. So I would know the times not to come out or to come out. You know, there's dudes that I know, rest in peace, my man Kev Brock, he used to only come out at nighttime. So I say I ran from police probably a good, I say 8 times.
Okay. 8 times. Did you ever jump any fences along the way?
That time I got caught. They said that when I was running, they said I looked like I was running in slow motion. I had a big coat on. It's crazy. I could talk about it. I dropped my gun. I wasn't trying to pick it up. I was like, and it was a whole precinct chasing me. So I was just like.
With the whole precinct?
Yeah.
Like how many people? How many cops?
It was everything, man. I went nowhere. I probably got about 3-4 yards. It was just crazy, bro.
You tried to jump the fence?
I jumped the gate, but I dropped the hammer.
Okay.
So that was over. And then I tried to run a couple of yards down. Things we do when we're young, man. It's just crazy, bro.
So, did you catch a gun charge for that?
Yeah, I caught a gun charge for that.
Okay, what about evading police and stuff like that?
Nah, just gun charge.
Just gun
They
charge.
was good enough with that. Caught a gun on you.
Hey, listen, man, I wish he
You
didn't
gotta
run.
think, back then, like, you catch a gun, you only do a year on Rikers or a year in jail. So everybody just kept having the pistol. And then shout out to my lawyer, Scott Lehman. He called me, I think this is 207, you can look it up. The law changed, where you want to do like 4 or 5, you know, but shit, when everybody was doing a bullet for a gun, oh man, that shit was like, go to Rikers, come right back. And then you went C-76 where everybody's coming home, so it was just like, fuck it. But I guess too many gun charges back to back.
Yeah, man, look, I like Scooter's music. I like the songs he had with Gucci.
rest in
I like
peace
the
to
stuff
Scooter,
he did with
man.
Future. Like, I wish he didn't run. I wish he had just, all right, I didn't do anything.
I wish the girl didn't call the cops. That's what I wish.
I hope that she gets...
Squatting ain't cool when you have like somebody wake up in the morning and got a fucking hole getting their door kicked down for no reason. Like, that's just not cool.
Yeah, look, I mean, is she going to catch like a manslaughter charge?
I'm not sure, but I know that's just some bullshit. Why would you?
I mean,
you wanna
swatting with a loss of life?
Yeah.
That caused a loss of life?
Yeah.
That sounds like manslaughter to me.
We'll see. I just seen that they had the girl all over the line. That's fucked up. Just calling for no reason, calling the police, talking about you was in trouble when you wasn't even in trouble. It's just crazy. The things people will do, bro.
So, this is the girl right here
Oh, yeah. Damn.
who called the police, right?
Yes.
Who called 911.
Fuck is wrong with her?
That's what she looks like, right? In her you know, glamour shot.
Yeah, she
This is
look-
what she looks like in her mug shot.
She looked crazy in the eyes. That's why I said damn the first time.
Makeup is the devil, man.
Fuck, you gotta make it make sense, bro. Like, anybody who just calling police to call the police for no reason at all, no crime or whatever it is, you gotta make it make sense, man. So to her, cause we rest in peace Scooter, he's one of the greatest from Atlanta. Street dude, you know I love the street rappers, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I fuck with. You know what I mean? I fuck with all gangster rappers, and Scooter was one of them. You know what I'm saying? I fucked with a lot of his music, listen to a lot of his albums. But for you to call the police for no reason and SWAT is crazy. You got too much time on your hands. Go find something to do, bitch. And that's just what it is, bro.
Yeah. Now, I hope they throw the book at her. I hope she gets like 5 or 10
If that's
years.
the case, that
Well, back in L.A., things have gotten crazy.
yeah, definitely.
Big U,
Mm-hmm.
who was affiliated with the Rolling 60s,
Yeah,
allegedly.
you know I did Big U podcast a while back. It just never,
Right, but it never came out, right?
it just never came out.
Look, I'm not going to switch my
I was
story
playing
now.
darts with that motherfucker. And, I was playing darts. He was showing me how good. He was real good at darts. So when I pulled up to Big U studio, it was nothing flashy. I was in a hoopty. My man had the dusty hoopty. It looked like the Hitmobile. We pulled up and did his podcast. It never came out. I know he had to deal with World Star. But Big U was cool. But I know him from fucking with Buck and all that. He used to fuck with Young Buck Heavy. That was his man and all that. So he used to have them around. Buck used to have them around. Big U, Floss, a couple of it. You know what I'm saying? But
I've only had positive experiences with Big U. I knew about him. He came in to do an interview. Shout out to my man Steve LaBelle. He's the one that hooked
Steve
that up.
LaBelle. Steve LaBelle is who got me to do the podcast.
Exactly.
And, that's my guy. Shout
Exactly.
out to him, man.
Yeah.
And shout out to all them cannabis deals we got coming.
Yeah.
Not with Steve, but cookies and other things. And Steve, we gonna do some stuff in the future. We figured out Dr. Green. Couple of places we got deals and the Flowery. Shout out to the Flowery. And a couple of spots in Queens, we gonna do some deals. But now, I kind of stay out of the LA politics because I feel like LA and New York is two different things. But did the feds really come to No Jumper? They win the question?
I think they questioned No Jumper over a cease and desist that Big U sent to Adam because he had that guy Loose Cannon on who was saying that Big U set up Nipsey to get killed and all this nonsense.
It makes sense when sometimes, like, when we get up here, we don't really talk about open cases too much. We talk about stuff that when the case is over or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Right? You agree on that?
I agree.
But who's at fault? Because people will say Vlad is the police or Adam is the police, right? Listen, who's at fault? The guy that gets on the show and talks too much, or the interviewer that asks the question and want to know if you're stupid enough to answer it?
I think we're grown men. I think you sit down and you say what you want to say. You know, for example, like people that know me know when I do podcasts, and I just did a bunch of them, you know, shout out to Cameron.
But look, I seen Adam ask a guy, a young guy, he got tattoos over his face. Yeah. He's an artist. I don't know his name, but shout to him. And he asked him, he said, yo, so that was you in the shoe? And he just sat there and he did the right thing. I wanted to check him out because he did the right thing. Yeah. He asked him about a shooting. Do you feel like, because you know, this is you work for the public, you know what I'm saying? You give information every day. You're not doing anything a news reporter's not doing different.
Right.
Do you think those questions are appropriate? Certain questions are appropriate to ask?
There are certain questions that I don't ask.
Right.
That I would not ask. And I steer away from it. I've turned down interviews with people with open cases who want to discuss those cases. Like, for example, Draco the Ruler, when he was in jail, his manager wanted me to interview him. And I said, you still have an open murder case. I don't want to touch it.
Right.
Come out and I'll do the interview with you, which is exactly what I did.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you could answer what you want to answer. Like when I do podcasts.
That's what I said.
Right,
That's what I said on No Jumper. That was the perfect example. Yeah. When he asked a young kid about a shootout, and the kid just looked at him like,
right. Look, when I do certain podcasts, there's certain topics I don't want to discuss. So I'll let the interviewer know ahead of time, hey, I don't want to talk about this, this, and this. Everything else, go ahead. Like I got 20 years that you could, pick from. There's no, there's enough topics for us to talk about without those 3 topics.
Right.
And every time that person has respected what I asked. And I'll do the same thing. Someone tells me I don't want to talk about this. Cool.
Yeah, because you were media trained, because that's what a publicist would initially tell you when you're going to do an interview. The old school way is your publicist will say, I don't want to talk about this, that.
Yeah.
Sort of say anything that the artist might not want to talk about. But now there's no media training. People just get on here and just do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, man, look, I mean, back to Big U, I have had nothing but positive experiences with Big U. We did the interview. He was hella cool. The interview did big numbers. We kept in contact. Every so often, he would call me, ask me some questions. He never made me check in. He could have been like, yo, listen, you in LA now? I'm going to need this much money from VladTV every month.
New York don't know nothing about checking.
I know. I'm straight out of New York,
Shout
right?
out to my niggas from New York, because that's a whole nother lane. We've been coming to LA since 204, 205, and they ain't never check in to nobody.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Just go to their hotel and move militant. You know what I'm saying? When you move around the city, bro, you gotta be careful. And that's just, we dealing with G-Unit. Had a lot of drama. So just had to move militant. This ain't just going to the mall and just going here with jewelry on and this and that. And you gotta move militant, bro.
Yeah.
You got wherever you at, you gotta move militant, because this will kill you over the smallest thing, especially if you an artist. Like, rappers die more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta move militant, bro. You don't need to just be out there. That's why assistants are there. Go to the store for you. Go pick up food for you. That's how I was taught. Go pick this up for you. And the artist just chill, because the artist is the bag and the valuable one. We free Durk. We don't want to see rappers in jail and the feds jammed up. We don't want to see rappers dead, because he's made it already. Actually made it. These made way more money than I made. I made good money, but these motherfuckers are making so much money right now. So why throw it out the window? You got to feed your kids, your family. People miss you. People depend on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like right now, it's like the feds not playing.
Yeah.
All around the board. New York City, we used to the federal indictments, but now you see them, they doing it in Atlanta, state indictments, they doing it in LA. But yo, bro, you gotta think about it. People travel to LA, they wanna be in LA to be comfortable. A lot of them houses getting ran in, motherfucking robbed, motherfuckers can't go to this place to go to go eat without getting rodeo. When you see people getting robbed on Rodeo,
Yeah.
oh, you know the feds coming.
Yeah.
Because it's all about cleaning up the neighborhoods. You know the feds coming. Now it look like, with that indictment with them, it look like more of a New York thing. Because in New York, the feds come fast. You know they don't play, bro. Everybody locked up out here.
Look, I remember at one point, like for 10 years, me and Whack 100 were not getting along. And Whack even said in our first interview that, you know, he was looking for me, had people looking for me, whatever else.
We was trying to find you too, boy. You was hard to find. We was trying to find you. We was trying to find you. It was hard to find. At that time, you got to remember, we was still like,
You were still thugging back then.
Yeah.
I could have gone to Big U and said, hey, can you handle this for me? But I know that if I did that, now I would owe Big U a favor.
Yeah,
And what does that mean? What does that entail? Now, that might turn into an extortion on my end. Him and Whack might get together and work together to try to, you know, get as much, you know, money out of me as possible. So that's why I just said, listen, I'm going to have my own security. I'm going to handle my own problems. I'm not going to go to any. I know multiple street guys and stuff like that. I never went to any of them for anything.
I think New York just don't tap in with anybody. Just try to learn the geographics and try to move militant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rest in peace to like Pop Smoke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Straight from the projects. You know what I'm saying? You in Beverly Hills, you feeling good. You just don't know. When I was in Hollywood and Beverly Hills, I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stayed in the Airbnb for like a cannabis event. You know what I'm saying? And the front door was open one day, one morning. I'm like, damn, the front door open? My cameraman, my guy, Olu, was like, yo, the front door was open. Nigga slipping. And then, you know, somebody was like, yeah, Pop Smoke got killed up the block in the next Airbnb. So you got to be aware of your surroundings, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to be aware. I'd rather stay in the hotel than the Airbnb.
All day.
You know
I don't
what I'm
stay in
saying?
Airbnbs at all.
Yeah.
Ever.
So,
I'm either in a gated community or I'm in a high rise with a doorman.
Yeah.
With cameras everywhere.
Right.
You're not getting away.
Yeah. So
You know?
it's just,
That's how I feel. Like,
learn to move.
if you want to risk
yeah.
a 100% conviction arrest, you're probably going to leave me alone.
Yeah.
You see how I'm saying? That's how I look at it. There's a
way-
100% chance you'll be caught.
Right. And the way things are looking now, it's like a lot of niggas are hiring the shooters, right? From what you see. And it's like, you might as well do it yourself because later on down the line, if you ain't giving this nigga lawyer fees, if you ain't feeding him in jail, he going down the line tell on your ass.
Right. And we're going to talk about that story a little bit down the line. I just want to talk about this Big U situation. So he is charged with 1 count of RICO, 2 counts of conspiracy to interfere with commerce by robbery and extortion, the Hobbs Act, 1 count of Hobbs Act robbery, 9 counts of attempted Hobbs Act extortion, 5 counts of Hobbs Act extortion. What is the Hobbs Act?
I couldn't even tell you. Because, you know, California law is totally different than New York law.
Well, this is feds.
Oh, yeah, feds.
It's the feds, so it's the same everywhere. 1 count of transportation of an individual in interstate commerce with the intent that the individual engage in prostitution, Mann Act. 15 counts of wire fraud, 5 counts of embezzlement, conversion, and intentional misapplication of funds from an organization receiving federal funds. This is the whole thing about him.
What's the 2 things that make you go down?
Well, let me just finish.
Go ahead.
1 count of bank fraud, 1 count of tax evasion, 2 counts of willful failure to file a tax return.
Okay.
He's also accused of the 2021 murder of rapper RW. So RW was signed to Unique Music, and basically what they say was he was at, they were recording at Marley Marl studio in Las Vegas, and apparently this guy RW made a diss song against Big U. And they're saying, I don't know if it's true or not, is that once Big U found out. Allegedly.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of it's true, and hopefully it isn't. Allegedly, Big U killed him, and they dumped the body somewhere in the desert. This is what he's being charged with. If convicted, well, he's facing life in prison, essentially. It's just too many counts.
Yo, 2 things. What
counts?
are the 2 things your lawyer always tell you to avoid?
What's that?
Being on the phone and rats. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why the first time a motherfucker told us, yo, you gotta be legit, stay 1 foot legit. Yo, listen, you don't do nothing for the feds to probe you. That's it. And you know, it's fucked up. But, you know, I am not gang gang. You know, you got Bobby Shmurda just said he not gang gang. Like, Casanova just said some shit about you denounce your flag to the feds. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, it's real. Once you in that gang life and that gang, you hot. Like, the feds is on you.
Well, right.
In New York, because that's how I work in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, isn't a gang somewhat a terrorist organization in the eyes of the law? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's how it's viewed.
Vlad, let's look at the past, right? What was the FBI? What was their main cause? What built New York City?
The Mafia.
There you go, right? You know the feds, what the Italians used to call them back in the days, forever borrowing Italians, right? You never heard that? Now look, that's what built John Gotti and these motherfuckers built New York City, man. The Mafia, the RICO comes from where? It comes from the Mafia, bro.
Yeah.
You
actually
interviewed plenty of Mafia guys,
tons of them,
bro.
And I actually looked it up. So it says that while gangs are generally considered criminal organizations, the U.S. has recently designated certain gangs and cartels, including MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, as foreign terrorist organizations. So if you're MS-13 in America, you are a terrorist. That's how you're viewed.
Yeah.
You don't want those types of problems.
You don't want that problem.
You don't want that tag
Trump,
on you.
Did you see the CGOT shit they sending mother to in Mexico?
Oh, yeah, right.
That makes jails up north look like a fucking presidential suite you're staying in, bro.
Yeah.
You see what Trump is sending motherfuckers to CGOT, bro?
Yeah. Sometimes the wrong people are getting sent.
Bro, it don't matter. You don't want to be in there, bro.
No.
Motherfuckers getting beans, flour. I watched that shit. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bro, where Trump is sending these motherfuckers. It's not worth it, man. It's too many cameras out there. It's too many rats. It's too many phones. It's too much out there, bro.
Well, along with Big U, Loose Cannon was arrested. And a regular on my show, Brick Baby. I just seen him like 3 days before. We ran into each other at the mall. Just randomly.
But you gotta understand this, Vlad. The police love YouTube. They love Instagram. They watch it. Like I tell you all the time, I spoke to Lisa Everts, and she says police, they love Instagram. They got cameras everywhere. There's no way you can hide. There's no way you can run. It's totally different. It's in different times. They have major technology now. They got DNA for clothes. They're gonna find you. They can find a fucking hair off your face on the floor. They can find sneaker prints. They can, your phone records. The phone takes you everywhere. So if you're gonna do something, you might as well fucking don't bring your phone.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Whack 100 said this when we did the podcast. It was like, me, Akademiks, Whack, Adam, Traplo Ross.
Yeah, Traplo, I've seen that. Shout to
like what Whack was saying. I'm not sure if this is true, but Whack was saying this in our podcast, that I guess when this alleged murder of the rapper happened, that they're blaming Big U for, I guess they're saying that you turned off his phone, like before he went, and then he turned it back on when he got back to the studio. So there's kind of like a gap during that time when the phone is not GPSing.
Man, the
you see what I'm
police
saying?
got
But that almost like makes it, that's evidence against him as well that he's doing that.
The feds got so much technology that we don't even know about, bro. Let's be serious. They had technology way back in the 80s and 90s. Imagine the technology they have now, bro. Do you realize, did you see, I don't know if you look up and shit like this, did you see that they found something under the Egyptian pyramids?
Ark of the Covenant, right? That's what they're saying.
Yeah, did you see?
The Ark of the Covenant.
Now look, they found something under the Egyptian pyramids. Now 2 guys have satellite radar where they could look in the ground, bro.
Yeah, underground.
Come on, bro.
Through stone.
They found some under the Egyptian pyramids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you gotta think of the technology that police have. Like I said, when I talk to Lisa Everts, good friend of mine, you know what I mean? She tells me, yo, they got DNA on the clothes. They can get your DNA off somebody's clothes now.
Yeah.
The feds, come on, when it comes to the feds, you don't want to f with them, bro. And I did a little bit of Fed time, skid bid, and I read the Fed guidelines, bro. This dude's that sold fake work to the feds and still got charged for them keys.
Doesn't matter, actually. You can sell fake drugs, fake guns. It's all about intent.
Yeah, you can sell.
Because here's the thing. I remember I talked to someone I interviewed, I talked to about this, and because it works both ways. An undercover could sell you fake cocaine and still charge you for buying a brick.
Right.
It goes both ways.
Listen, bro, I did 6 months in the feds, MDC, not little skid bid, and I realized this crazy, bro. Like, you could sell the guns. You could sell fake guns to the police, fake work, and you still would get charged
like
for that same shit.
Yeah.
And you got to realize this. It's a point system. You ever heard of the point system?
Yeah.
Now, look, if you, back in the days when we used to get locked up for marijuana, you know now it's legal. It was a point or two on the, in the Fed guidelines. You know what I mean? You catch a gun charge, it's points. You catch an assault, that's points. You catch this. That's what makes fuckers do time is because of the point system. So when I got charged, me getting caught with weed was like maybe 1 or 2 points. You know what I'm saying? But it's legal now. That's why a lot of changing and motherfuckers getting back time and all kinds of shit, you know? But
I feel like you kind of touched on this recently. Yella Beezy is now charged with capital murder in the death of Mo 3, which happened a couple of years ago.
Right. Stay away, like I said, stay away from rats and stay away from phones.
Well, yeah.
I don't even like talking on the phone. I don't even like being on the phone too much. Like, motherfuckers.
You talk on the phone all the time. What are you talking about?
Who?
Me and you.
No, we can talk. Certain people, but I'm not like a person that gets once 100 calls to my phone all the time, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have too many. It's limited to how many people I talk on the phone.
You can talk to me all day long.
Oh, no, you're good.
We never talk about nothing anyway. Yeah, no, look. Listen, I've interviewed both these guys, Mo 3 and Yella Beezy. In fact, I told Mo 3 he should move out of Dallas.
Yeah, they used a lot of that. I've seen a lot of that footage online.
Yeah. I mean, and he was like, no, man, ain't no one chasing me down. I'm good. I know how to move.
I ain't worried about none of that, Vlad. So, I ain't got no security. I'm not out here, nobody chasing me down, trying to do nothing to me. So I ain't worried about none of that.
Someone chased him down and killed him.
Yeah, that, out of town, that's crazy because I couldn't see something on the highway in New York City like that. That's just like, rest in peace, Mo 3. And, and Yella Beezy innocent till proven guilty.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I mean, the dramas, you being an artist, the drama's always gonna be there, but people gotta understand the feds are always watching, bro. Hip hop police is the feds. And a lot of rappers gotta understand that, bro. That's just, they've been around for a long time. It's just new faces, you know what I'm saying? In my day, it was curly top, curly hair. I'll tell everybody. He screamed on P. Diddy years ago. You can look it up online.
Wait, this guy
You're not getting in the club.
Wait. So you saw one of the hip-hop police scream on P. Diddy?
Yeah, it's online. You can find it. Curly top.
Really?
Curly top, curly hair, motherfucker, stocky, brown skin. Everybody know curly top, bro. And then you had Superman, tall dude, light eyes. You had this. Come on, bro. It's like I said, this is nothing new, bro.
Yeah. Well, this situation is ugly because the guy who killed Mo 3 has been sitting in prison for a couple of years. He's telling. He's saying that Yella Beezy paid him.
But then I seen him. He did like an interview in jail, and he's saying that that's not him. I don't know how real it is. Look it up.
No, I saw some video on my timeline saying he's getting out soon or something like that.
The dude that's locked up is saying that that's not him. I don't know how real it is. You can look it up.
Well, he's saying that he's not the one who's cooperating?
I'm not sure, but
he's saying Yella Beezy is not.
He's saying that he didn't do it. That's what he's saying.
That who didn't do it?
That he didn't do it. I don't know how
he himself did not kill Mo 3.
Look it up. There's an interview with the killer. It's online. He's saying that he didn't do it. I don't know how real it is. I don't know if it's AI, but you can look it up. He was in a cell and he was talking, I believe. You found it?
Mo 3's killer speaks from jail after
go.
Yella Beezy's murder for hire indictment. This is what you're talking about? Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
How do you feel like this whole situation could have been deaded or another way could have been done so you wouldn't be in a situation you in?
People gonna say what they gonna say regardless. You know how the word is. Like, people gonna say
But wait a minute. But people think you the person that killed Mo3, man.
See,
He just saying he didn't do it. I mean, isn't that what everyone says in jail, though?
But this is
I
where
didn't do it.
But this is where I'll get confused, because they saying he did it and he cooperated, and then he's saying he just didn't do it. I just felt it for you.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably good for Yella Beezy. Because this does not seem like the best witness here.
Innocent to proven guilty.
Right, listen, I hope he gets off. I like Yella Beezy.
So look, you just seen him document saying he said he didn't do it, right?
Right.
Why are you even talking about an open case if you on trial? If that's real.
Well, he's not on trial. He's in jail.
Well, he's in jail, but he's going to eventually have to go to court or whatever, testify or whatever he's doing.
Well, against Yella Beezy?
Of course.
Yeah.
But that's him, right?
But he's saying he didn't do it.
You seen the actual kid's face on there, right?
It appears, well, I mean, listen, I didn't do the background research to make sure we're talking, this is actually accurate with the right person. I don't know how the hell he's in jail talking on the phone on FaceTime.
This is what I'm saying. I don't know if that's real or not. But all I'm saying is clout is a motherfucking up drug, bro. If it's really him and he's talking about a case right now to doing an interview about it from jail, yeah, clout is a motherfucking up drug.
Listen, if I had killed somebody and I was about to snitch on the person who hired me, I would not be talking at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is his potential get out of jail free card. Oh, he probably won't get out of jail, but at least he might get like a reduction in sentence from cooperating.
You know why people look at you as an idiot? Because they look at it like, all right, if you're gonna take a hit and the motherfucker says he give you $40,000,
yeah, that's what
I can make that at Burger King in 1 year. So you just threw your way of life, your life away for. I could have just went to Burger King and made $40,000 in a year.
Right.
You're making it at one time, but when all actuality, it's just $40,000. You threw your whole life away. Now you're gonna be working for 1 cent a day up top, jail, or the death penalty, because they be services out there. Dallas and all that they got the death penalty, right?
Yeah.
They a little more serious than New York. And now all this Trump doing, come on, you kill a cop, they saying it's a death penalty now, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, I hope that Yella Beezy walks away from it. He had a $2 million bond. They lowered it to $750,000. He made it. That's really like $75K, right? You got to put down 10%. Get a bail bondsman.
10%, yeah. You put $75K, something like that.
I'm sure that was easy. He could probably sell his jewelry and make that.
Yeah.
So he's out. I hope he comes through. I've always liked the guy. In fact, when I talked to Mo3 and Yella Beezy, I tried, hey, can y'all work it out? Is it really that serious? I'm sure everyone involved in this murder really wishes they never did it right now. Whoever that is. I'm sure everyone involved in it, considering how profile it became, wishes they had just left it alone.
I mean,
and went on with their lives.
You know, not you as long as artists get along in their city, it won't be, but it's dangerous, you know what I'm saying? Look at Source Walker, shout out, rest in peace to Say So, his artist that just got killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of the hardest jobs in the world to be an artist. Not number one, people know you're hot. They know who you are no matter where you go. When I jump out the car, I can have shades on, hoodie on, motherfuckers know where you are. Some motherfuckers gonna like you, some motherfuckers not. And motherfuckers kill you for breakfast, man. That's the times we in now, man. They'll kill you for breakfast, bro. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So being an artist, being a rapper, like, I'm just glad I made it to how far I made it, as much bull I've been through in my life. You know what I'm saying? And you still gotta watch your back no matter what, and worry about motherfuckers, ex-workers trying to steal, was your friends not your friends no more, fucking hate you, the nigga up the block that went to school with you and just don't like that you on. It's just too much you deal with. You got people that wish you didn't make this amount of money because they feel like they went to school and went to college and you're just this rapper and you made it the easy way. It's a lot of shit you gotta deal with being in the limelight and being an artist, and killers, feds, IRS, state, everything comes with that shit, bro. So you just gotta move militant, bro. You know, and hopefully a lot of people, I hope they beat their cases, but usually when the feds come, It's not good.
Yeah, now with the feds.
Yeah.
Now with the feds. But I believe the Yella Beezy case is a state case. It's not a fed case.
I mean, facing capital murder charge is never good, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
capital murder.
I mean, you know,
why is it called capital murder? Like, what is the capital
that's
part?
Texas, bro. That's like life sentence or the death penalty. Look it up. It holds either that or that. Nobody want to work up for capital murder for breakfast, bro.
Here we go. So, now I get it. The term capital murder is used to describe a murder that is punishable by death.
That's what I'm saying.
Or capital punishment.
Yeah, the death penalty. Or
so that's what that means. Basically, they're saying that Yella Beezy is facing the electric chair.
Yeah, he could face he's either facing the death penalty or life in jail, bro. You choose.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Also, and this news just broke today, and once again, innocent until proven guilty, but they're saying that the new target of the DA in Atlanta is actually Lil Baby and 4 Pockets Full. And there was a clip that's circulating.
Vlad, what do you, if you got black dudes, right? Black is with money, right? And we in the neighborhood, right? We come from the bottom of the bottom. We from the neighborhood that we not supposed to make it. We supposed to be a statistic, right? You think the feds, DEA, IRS, FBI, everybody's fucking watching, bro. Everybody's fucking watching. I realized this because, let me tell you, we used to go to clubs, bro. I remember one time I went to a club. I had nothing on me, right? I was like, I don't want to get searched. Why should I get searched, right? So I spun back around. So everybody else spun back around me. We went towards Chelsea, West Side Highway, right? Hip hop police was so crazy, bro. Every car got pulled over simultaneously. Every car went a different direction. Every car got pulled over simultaneously. I got pulled over on the west side. My friends got pulled over here. They got pulled over here. They got hit. They're watching, bro. They're watching. So it's like, for me, this is not nothing new, bro. If you got the money, you know the feds are watching, bro. They watching. They locking motherfuckers up every day, bro.
Well, let me play this right here. So this just got released today. And in court, a gang investigator provided wiretaps where allegedly someone on the wiretap was claiming that Lil Baby was putting tickets on people's heads.
We don't know if that's AI. Well, if it's wiretaps, this is what I just tell you.
Yeah.
My lawyer always tells me, shout to Bob Macedonia, shout to Scott Lehman. The list goes on, bro. You know what I mean? Phones and rats. I don't care if you're on FaceTime audio, I don't care if you're on FaceTime. Don't call my phone with the bullshit. I don't want to hear it. If you're in jail, you definitely know not to call my phone. Everybody knows these in jail, COs is giving dudes phones that are already tapped, bro.
Oh, is that what happened?
Come on, bro. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just telling you, if you buy a phone from a CO in jail, hypothetically, for $1,000, whatever it may be, right? Don't think that phone is not tapped.
Yeah.
If the feds want you, they got ways to get you, bro.
Right, and they got something called, I think, Stingrays that basically monitor the packets, like the data that goes out from the jail. So all the text messages you send, they're grabbing all that.
Yeah.
And they could reconstruct it and put it back into your cell and say, oh, look, he texted this,
Chats.
and this.
It's being gangs chatting, being group chats, this, that. Nah, bro. The feds gonna use all that information.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the
FBI's, you would agree they're the biggest gang in the world.
100%. 100%.
The police is the second biggest gang.
Yeah. No, I mean, and in fact, my man Taxstone, I remember I talked to his lawyer after he was found guilty. Mm-hmm. And, he spoke to some of the jury members. And, the jury basically told him, Troy Ave taking the stand, whatever. We didn't really take all that seriously. But apparently, Taxstone had a phone in jail. And he was talking about the case on, like, Telegraph. Like that app that's supposed to be private. They managed to get those messages. And basically, he's talking about the case himself in his own words, and that's what the jury said caused them to find him guilty and give him like the 35 years that he got.
Yeah, you can't.
He could have potentially beat it if he didn't talk about it.
You definitely can't trust no phone that you bought from a CO in the feds or the state, motherfucker. Like, that'll be the dumbest shit you could do. You know what I'm be talking to? Talking to my girl, talking about when I want to get out, I wouldn't even be talking to my lawyer on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Let's be serious. That's the easiest way to get him off. Get the CO, yo, look, get him to give you the money, buy the phone is tapped. That's how motherfuckers getting got, bro. Let's be serious.
Well, Lil Durk is still locked up. Dropped a great album, by the way.
Yeah, the album's great.
Album is great.
I listened to some of it.
Great album. The Janae Aiko song is tough. Like, really, the whole album.
Free Durk!
The whole album is great. But, you know what's crazy also is that there was certain parts throughout the album that words were taken out. So I think that his lawyers went through everything and said, okay, yeah, this is bad, let's take this out. Yeah. But on the song Monitoring Me, there's a line that says, I don't even got to pay an N-word to do nothing. I got killers, all my friends. And I'm like, wait, did I hear what I thought I heard? I went back and listened to it. I'm like,
maybe his lawyer's gonna get that line taken out too.
Okay, I hope so. I know his lawyer.
It's just music,
Drew Finley.
Free Durk, man.
Drew Finley, that's my man. I've interviewed him.
Yeah.
He's actually referred other lawyers to me.
Durk's lawyer?
Yeah.
You interview him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, before he became Durk's lawyer, remember, he was also YFN Lucci's lawyer.
Oh, okay.
He was also Big Meech's lawyer back in the day.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He was Young Dolph's lawyer.
So he must be.
Yeah, Young Dolph called him the $1 billion lawyer.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how he got the nickname.
So he's good. Shout out to the $1 billion lawyer. Give Durk out of there, man.
Yeah.
It's all hearsay for
It's all hearsay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I just want to take a tangent because you and I got into like a heated argument last time. Mm-hmm. You said that I was stupid for paying $15,000 a month rent for a mansion in Calabasas.
No.
We're gonna dissect this.
Okay.
Because I didn't have all the facts in front of me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna show you what it is right now. Okay. I'm gonna break down how spending $15,000 a month is not actually stupid. Okay. So I said it was a $5 million house last time. I'm gonna actually give you some leeway and say I'm renting a $4 million house because at the time that's about how much it cost.
Okay.
Okay. So you take a $4 million house. You put down 20%. Okay. That's $800,000. All right. So you take $800,000 and you give it to the bank, never to be seen again. You have a 30-year term. Property taxes, home insurance, various costs and stuff like that. Right? Let's actually take out the various costs.
You always want to prove he's motherfucker. He's right. Go ahead.
Your mortgage payment for 30 years is $20,000 a month. Plus, when you got to fix the roof, when the heater goes out, the air conditioning goes out, everything else like that. At the end of those 30 years, you would pay $7.3 million for that $4 million house. But you're telling me spending $15,000 a month is stupid.
But this is what sounds crazy about what you said.
Okay.
If I take $800,000, why do I need a $4 million house? I could just take $800,000 and buy me a house. Maybe I can catch me a house in Sugar Land, Texas, or somewhere for like
away from everything. Well, I wasn't living in Sugar Land, Texas.
If I go to Houston,
I was living in Calabasas.
Well,
where my
if I go to
business
Houston
is.
with that $800, I'm gonna get a palace for that. So I wouldn't spend that kind. Sometimes it don't make sense.
But now you're switching the argument. Now you're talking about something else. I'm talking about why was I spending $15,000 a month and why you're saying it was crazy. So I was spending $15,000 a month. And here's the thing. When you spend, that $20,000 loan payment, that mortgage payment, do you know that it's almost 100% interest?
But that's living beyond your means. You don't need to do that.
I'm not saying living beyond. I'm just saying this was my means at the time. So
if I got $800,000, I could go buy, like I said, maybe 2 pieces of property in Houston, or maybe I can go to Florida and buy a nice house. Why would I?
Let's go down to $3 million.
Regardless to what? What's the difference between? Listen, what's the difference between a $5 million house and a $500,000 house?
Depends where you are. In LA, $500,000 will get you a shack.
Okay.
If that.
But what would $500,000 get me in Houston?
Do you have any work in Houston? Like, I can't work in, I can't be in bump. Like, like Houston is cool, but I'm saying, like, in the middle of nowhere, I can't be out there.
Listen,
how can I do work if I'm in Seattle somewhere? If I'm in Ohio.
I'm just the type of guy that I love to get a deal out of what I spend my money on. So I'm not gonna. You said you spend how much a month? What was it? 15?
At one point, I spent like $15,000 a month. Yeah,
15,000. Yeah. No, I can go get a palace for $15,000 a month. Either in Florida,
not in Calabasas, not in LA. Not in Manhattan.
Everybody's getting robbed in LA.
Not in New Jersey.
Niggas getting robbed on
Long
Rodeo.
Island.
You spend all that money to live in LA to get robbed on Rodeo. Listen, I would take my Houston,
You're just changing
Florida.
the subject, man. You're just changing the subject.
You're
trying to get around the argument.
All I'm saying is $15,000 a month is a lot.
Okay,
I lived in Manhattan.
I lowered the price. I recalculated. I lowered the price to $3 million. A $3 million house, you put down $600,000. Your mortgage payments are $15,000 a month. That $15,000 for the first 10 years is almost no principal. You're basically paying rent to the bank. So why not just pay rent to a landlord?
But why we not
put $600,000 or $800,000 down, stack your money, invest it. That $800,000 could turn into $2 or $3 million. And you can buy it outright.
Why we not getting a house for $500,000 though?
How much is your house?
About
the house you live in?
About $1 million.
$1 million. Yep. Okay, it's not $500,000. Did you buy cash?
If I could have started...
Do you have a mortgage?
I don't want to get into all that personal. But listen, all I'm saying to you is this, right? If I would have knew what I knew, because I bought that house, I was 25, 26, I would have went for a house cheaper. I would have went for a house for $500,000. I'm just being honest. But when Shy Money's girlfriend turned into a real estate agent and oh boy, baby mom's turned into a real estate agent, and they was coming to me and they was saying, buy a house, because I was spending all this money living in Manhattan, spending an arm and a leg, living in a 3-bedroom apartment. It was me, Banks, and that was it. We had 3 bedrooms. But Banks was hardly there. But the mortgage, that probably at that time, 04, 05, it was at least $9,000, $10,000 a month.
Right.
To live in Manhattan, 3-bedroom, and you ain't getting shit.
Right. And you know something? When you sold that house, you probably, like, all those mortgage payments did not come off the principal. So if that house, if that like condo cost $1 million, when you sold it, you still had $1 million you owed on it. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, like, people are like, oh, you're renting, you're throwing money away. No, renting makes a lot of sense for certain situations. I feel that if you can't buy a house in cash outright, you should probably rent.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying you call me an idiot for spending $15,000 a month. They was like, I agree with Tony. Like, no. Y'all don't understand the big picture. That's why I need to break down the numbers for you.
I just feel like you can get more. I'm a Haitian, bro. You can get more for your money somewhere in Florida.
Sure, if you go to Haiti, you could buy a compound for $50,000.
What I'm saying is, like I said, we could look up houses in, I'll give you a good example. Sugar Land, Texas. I love it out there, right?
Yeah. You want to live out there permanently?
I think
Can't do VladTV for living in Sugar Land, Texas.
I mean, I could be back and forth. It's cool. I always keep a place in New York.
How much money you spend flying first class back and forth? Think about all those costs.
I got air miles and stuff.
Those will run out eventually. You'll not use points for the rest of your life.
I'm using my air miles from the Swiss out.
A first class flight from New York to Texas is probably about $1,500 each way. Maybe $3,000,
it depends.
$2,500 round trip.
It depends.
Then you got the hotel bills, right? You're not going to be staying at the Motel 6. You're going to be staying at a nice 4-star, maybe 5-star hotel. That's about $300 a night. You see, let's start adding up the money. But
what I'm saying to you is, I will always keep a place in New York.
Okay, so now you got another mortgage in New York. Let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the other mortgage in New York that you're spending money on.
And then get a nice spot in like Houston or like Florida or something.
Okay. All I'm saying is it's not so cut and dry. It's not so cut and dry.
I might be still spending less than you.
Okay.
You're spending $15,000
Whereas
a month.
I'm living where I want to live, and you're living in Texas.
I love Texas. Texas got good food, great food.
Listen, I like
great
Texas
weather.
too,
Minus
right?
the weather storms.
Shout out to my man Willie D. I'm supposed to go do his podcast.
Yeah, Willie
but
D.
I'm just saying, like,
the Ghetto Boys, one of my favorite.
And I'm not talking about Houston. You're not getting Houston for no $800,000, a really nice place. No,
what? Houston?
No, not in Houston. You got to go to Sugar Land somewhere.
No, Houston. I mean, that's the same thing. It's right there. So you can go anywhere in Houston. You spend $800,000. I'm gonna get something nice, bro. Crazy? I'm gonna be sitting on some land.
$800,000?
Yeah.
You gonna get a mansion for $800,000?
Bro, I would get a nice piece of the pie for $800,000.
It won't be a mansion. Houston's still a hot area. You can't go to an area where there's like a hot area, there's a lot of jobs, a lot of industry, a lot of work, a lot of money, and not spend any money on property.
I'm
like,
just saying,
doesn't work that way.
To me, that's just not a good investment to spend $15,000 a month renting. I would say.
I mean, we can agree to
I
disagree.
would tell people, and look, or you just mad because all the people in your comments were saying I'm right.
But
they agreed with me.
But you're not right. That's the whole point.
They agreed with me.
Listen, like most people, most working class people think, oh, 15,000 is crazy until you run the numbers, because they're not spending 15,000. You see what I'm saying? They're spending 2,000 a month, so they think it's stupid. But in fact, when you're dealing with these multi-million-dollar properties, you start running the numbers. A lot of times, renting is cheaper than buying.
Vlad, but everybody's not buying a multi-million-dollar property. People are looking for houses at 300, 400,000, and they're happy with that.
All right, so
see me, I don't mind. Like I said, I have these conversations with people. Like, ain't nothing wrong with buying a house for 300, 400,000. Just because you see these rappers buying all this and doing all this, and living the image, you don't have to do that. You can go live your life. I would be happy in the house for 300, 400,000.
All right, $800,000 house, 20% down. That's
like
that's 160,000.
Yep.
So you got to cough up 160,000, and you're paying 4,000 a month in mortgage. After coughing up 160,000, does that sound like a good deal to you?
It sounds better than paying that $15,000.
Because the house is only 800,000, not $4 million.
Just saying, it sounds better.
You're not getting the same house either. But what I'm saying, a 4,000 a month mortgage after coughing up 160,000 cash, which is gone forever, is not all that great either.
If I would have knew, I would have got a house for 500,000 instead of trying to get a house for $1 million back in the days. I'm just telling you.
If you were my friend back then, you know what I would tell you?
What?
How much money do you have right now? Like, okay, you got a big record out, you got this, blah, blah, blah. How much can you put aside? You have 500,000 cash? Dump all that in the house? You own the house outright, all you pay is property taxes.
Yeah, of course.
Now you know that the bank can't take it from you. Because here's what happens also. You could be in a mortgage for 25 years. You start missing payments, they'll take the house from you and not pay you back what you paid. All those mortgage
mortgage is about 30 years.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not, I've always felt that the mortgage game is the coldest hustle that the banks have ever done.
No, I agree with you.
Owning a home is the American dream. Don't you want to live the American dream? You know, like all these people, like, for example, like who were in Altadena, you know, where the fires hit, it was like the first area in California where black people could buy land. Right? Muhammad Ali had a house there. Like, it goes back like that. That whole area burned down during the Eaton fire. And a lot of those people didn't have home insurance. Gone.
But ain't something going on in Cali where it's up anyway? Like, they're not letting people fix up their shit or like build their shit?
No, that's not true. No. But there was a lot of insurance companies dropped fire insurance. Like, for example, my house.
And that was before the fires.
Before the fires. Like, I found out that State Farm dropped us after the fire started, and I couldn't get new insurance because none of the other carriers were taking on new policies. So luckily, I had a real estate agent that found me something called the Fair Act.
You don't find that kind of strange?
What's that?
You don't find that kind of strange?
Well, no. I think the insurance companies knew what was about to happen based on global warming and, you know, everything else like that. I think it's just common sense. Listen, like, and they've been taking people's, you know, insurance payments for decades and just walked away with all that money and never had to pay out nothing because they dropped everybody. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So all the fires that just happened, nobody's house is insured like that?
No, a lot of people's houses were insured. But the thing about insurance is that you only have to have insurance if you have a mortgage because the bank is trying to protect their investment. But if your house is paid off, it's up to you whether you want insurance or not. So a lot of these older black families that have been living in this neighborhood for, you know, got the house from their grandparents when they passed away. And, you know, it was like my man, Michael Jai White, his wife's parents were there. They lost their house. Luckily, they had insurance. But a lot of these families that own the house outright, you know, they got it from their mom, dad, whatever else, no mortgage payments. They were probably like, oh, I don't need insurance. Insurance is expensive. House burns down. Only thing they have left is the land. That's all they can sell.
You always need insurance on anything.
Yeah. Kanye just did an interview with my man, DJ Akademiks.
Oh, man.
Did you see that? He showed up in a black Ku Klux Klan outfit with a Nazi chain on, iced out. By the way, I want to know the jeweler.
Yo,
you know, Kanye, who's the jeweler that made you the iced out swastika?
Bro,
I want to know. I want to put the jeweler out there.
We don't condone no hate or racism, bro. It's like I say all the time, Kanye, you one of the biggest icons in the world, bro. Jewish kids bought your sneakers, black, white, Spanish, every nationality. Because music is something that crosses every barrier. We done been to Brazil. We done been to in Israel, we done been everywhere in the world where people don't even speak English and music breaks that barrier. So, I mean, when you look at Kanye, man, like I said, huge artist, man. I remember him being in the studio with Dre and like I said, nobody knew he was. And look at the level he's on now. But
Wait. Kanye was in the studio with Dre?
Yeah, it was me, 50, Dr. Dre, Kanye West.
What song?
They didn't do a song. He was in there trying to do with 50. Yeah, so.
Okay.
So he was in the studio. I didn't know who he was at the time. This is before The Wire and all that. This is my first time to LA.
Oh, so this is what, maybe 2002, 2003? 2003 maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah.
So we was in the studio. It was me, my man Weezy, and we was in there with Fifth, and Kanye was in there. Buster was in there, a couple of motherfuckers. We didn't even realize it. I didn't know who he was, but that was Kanye West. You realize that down the line. So you know what I'm saying? When you got the advantage to damn near take over the world with your music and your image and be so iconic, and I mean, you know, it's just crazy what you're doing now. Like, I look at a lot of artists, if they had the opportunity, they wouldn't express themselves the way he is. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of crazy. The Klan suit was crazy. My whole thing was Akademiks. Like, how did you, like, when he came out and that, like, yo, what the fuck? I would have been like, me being, that's why my podcast has to come. Shout to Vlad. My podcast coming as soon because the people want it. I would have said to Kanye, what the f you got on, bro?
Well, here's the thing, though. He answered the door in a Sean John t-shirt.
Nah, I seen that. I watched the interview.
And then he came out with a black Ku Klux Klan outfit.
I would have been like, yo, motherfucker, what the f you got on? You know what I'm saying? What the f you got on, Kanye? A Klan suit? That's crazy. Then you said you got a white one too? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, he had one in his bag also. Yeah.
I don't know.
None of us have ever been terrorized by the Ku Klux Klan. You know, me being Jewish, you being black. I assume you've never had Ku Klux Klan experiences.
No.
I haven't either. But I've interviewed people that have. Dominique Wilkins, one of the NBA greats, when he didn't enroll in the college that his hometown wanted him to enroll in, they put a burning cross on his front yard.
I was like, I'm puzzled up, like, what is this big bright light? So I go out the front door, and as I get to the front yard, there's a big cross burning in my yard. And I remember being very nervous and scared to being very angry.
That's the Klan.
Yeah, he was down south, yep.
Todd Bridges from Different Strokes.
Everybody was saying it was like an episode of Boondocks when he had the Klan suit on.
Yeah,
or was Chappelle,
Clayton Bigsby.
Or was that's Chappelle, right?
Yeah. No, look, Todd Bridges from Different Strokes. Remember, you know, two black kids in a house with a young white girl.
That was one of my favorite shows.
It's a great show, right? But racist people had a problem with it because, you know, oh, what's up with these two black kids with a white girl? Burning cross on his front yard in L.A. They burned a cross in your front lawn. And this was over Different Strokes.
Yeah, and not just that, which is over being black.
Like, this type of Klan actually happens. Like, black people have been terrorized by the Klan who are still alive.
Right.
And you want to wear a Klan outfit? Like, come on, man.
I mean, I think the Nazi chain is over the top with the Klan outfit.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, man, like, we all as people, we all go through, bro. You know what I mean? Black people, Jewish people, Indian people, there's poverty all over the world, bro. Everybody deals with shit, bro. You know, so I mean, I think racism is one of the worst things in the world, bro. You know, I hate being like moving to a white neighborhood and I go in the supermarket and people are just looking at me like I'm the bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, I you know, I didn't grow up like that. My parents didn't raise me like that. So, you know, and I'm quite sure Kanye moms didn't raise him like that. So it's just a terrible thing to see. But Akademiks, I fuck with Akademiks, but I definitely would have been like, yo, mother, what the you got on? But, you know, you got Kanye there, so some people will say, yo, this is the biggest interview in my life, so they're not going to really say nothing. They're just going to get the questions as they should, as a journalist should. Because it's journalism.
Yeah, no, look.
It's journalism at the end of the day.
Yeah, look, I mean, I know the story because Akademiks is my man. I'm about to be on a show, actually. And look, Kanye called
That was
him.
a big interview. So
No, it was a huge interview. It was his biggest interview
I'm
ever.
not going to front like I didn't watch it.
No, listen, Kanye called him and said, listen, I got an hour, and then I'm flying to Japan.
Right.
So that's why, he had to just drive there.
Definitely, I definitely
film
watched it. I can't even hate on the interview. I watched it, and he was wilding, bro. The whole Klan, you know, it went from a long way from saying George Bush was racist.
Yeah, George Bush doesn't like black people.
Because you got to understand, I always felt like Kanye was a master of the publicity. Because you got to remember, my album dropped the same time Kanye dropped. My first album, Those of a Predicate Felon, dropped damn near the same day.
It's Graduation?
The same week.
No, not Graduation. College Dropout.
Whatever his first album was, College Dropout.
Yeah.
My album, I had to deal with his record sales that first week. And I remember him saying, George Bush is racist. I think
George Bush doesn't like black people.
Yeah, that was Katrina, right?
Yeah.
That was around the Katrina. Mm-hmm. And I remember that. I still did So Go. Did So Go. Did very good. Happy with that album. But I had to deal with Kanye that first week, and I remember when he did that, when he said that went
his sales went crazy?
Yeah, sales went crazy, and I remember, like, publicity-wise, that went everywhere. So in my mind, I always looked at Kanye as one of them dudes that knows how to capture the media and capture the public. But the Klan and all this other shit, I can't co-sign that. Bugging.
Well, I mean, that's just part of it. He called Jay-Z and Beyonce's younger kids retarded.
Yeah, you took it too far.
I mean, what else? He dissed everybody. Virgil Abloh,
listen,
dead.
You never bite the hand that turn the lights on for you, no matter what. Like, I think Kanye, you taking it a little too far when you talk about Jay, because he turned the lights on for you. But then you just said in an interview, Dame put you on. So, I mean, maybe, Dame turned the lights on for you. Regardless to what, it was Rock Nation. It's Rock, you know what I'm saying? It was The Rock. So, but...
Yeah, well, what's interesting is in that interview, he said, everything is like, but you offended Jay-Z. Kim, put it like this. Let's take it to money. How much money do you think Jay-Z makes off my catalog versus what I make off it? Next subject. Mm-hmm. Rock Nation actually responded saying that Jay doesn't make money off Kanye's catalog. So he's just kind of just babbling.
We're
at this
talking
point.
to a man that's in a black Klansman suit, man. and like, I know everybody like to glaze and dick ride these artists. I gotta start telling these artists when they fucking bugging, man. We talking about here?
You're right. How do you take that seriously?
Fucking Klansmen.
No, I asked Akademiks.
It's like an episode of a fucking Boondocks.
No, I feel you. Before the interview, I'm like, so did he have the Klan
hood
hood on?
Akademiks was nervous because he was like, we got the right setting? I mean, it's Kanye West, so he knew he was going to do the numbers.
Yeah.
I definitely watched it, but it was the crack up. Like, you see a motherfucker in a Klansman suit, so of course you're going to watch it just to see what dumb shit Kanye's going to say or what dumb shit is said in the interview.
Yeah.
It's too much glazing in the industry. There needed to be a nigga to tell Kanye, yo, don't do this and don't wear that. But like he said, he's a nigga that...
Let me tell you.
He's a funny motherfucker.
Let me tell you. Like, Akademiks was talking about the whole thing on the podcast. He was saying on his way to go see Kanye, he was in a group chat and Kanye was like, get my black outfit ready. This was not a spur of the moment thing. Kanye was preparing the Black Klansman outfit for the interview. And I was like, yo, did he take off the hood? He's like, no, the whole interview was just these two eyes poking out of this black hood. Like, that's the whole interview. And he was right.
Shit, I watched it. That shit was insane, bro. And then my whole thing that made it weird was he was like, yo, if I wear this in the street, they might put me in a crazy institution. Nigga, you wore it in front of the world.
Yeah.
Like, make it make sense, man. You a smart nigga that made all kind of billions and all this. People look up to you, and you saying, yo, if I wear this in the street, they might put me in a mental institute. But you wore it on fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't get it, bro. It's just, the world we live in now, bro, it's just fucking insane, bro. You don't know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, from what he was saying was he had to get out of there because he felt they were trying to kill him in America, so he flew to Japan right afterwards. He's been in Japan ever since. Like, he's really paranoid. And people around him I know are paranoid as well. Like, people think there's death threats on him. It's just like a whole paranoid, crazy
I mean, when you
mental illness situation.
What do they tell you in media training, right? The first thing they tell you is stay away from religion and politics. You're hating on people. People that bought your sneakers, bought your albums. Yeah, they want to probably fucking do something to you. You got to be careful, man. You know, they say in the Bible that your tongue is like a sword. No, pause. You know what I'm saying? But it's just true. What you say out your mouth, it's a reaction for every action is a reaction, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you notice what Kanye does, the antics are always at their height right around album releases, right? Mm-hmm. So he released the Bully album on YouTube. And I listened to it. It's basically like a long movie, essentially.
But once you don't have the machine behind you, your album ain't.
Well, yeah, I mean, it got a couple million views, which for Kanye, that's actually a low number.
But once you don't have the machine behind you, your album ain't shit.
And honestly, I looked this morning and the album was removed off of YouTube, off his own channel.
Okay.
So I don't even know what he's doing. You can't even hear the album right now. It's not on Spotify. It's not on Apple Music.
Because ain't he banned from like Madison Square Garden? He's banned from the Barclays.
Possibly. I don't know.
He's banned from everything, man.
Listen, he can still find a venue to perform at. He's Kanye. That's he does stuff in China.
I think he did USBS last time, but he can't do the Garden. He can't do certain stadiums. People don't like hate, bro. There's enough hate in the world already. You need to spread love, brother. You know what I mean? You're a successful, or this is the way I see it. You're a successful guy. You got a successful sneaker. There's plenty of black young men that would love to be in the position you are, and them doing the right thing by not spewing hate out to the world. Yeah, it's good, bro. People bought they bought your sneakers. You don't need to spew that hate out in the world. There's enough fucking hate in the world already, bro. That's the way I see it. And sometimes when people do that, the karma, when you get too big, when you think you bigger than the system, it's over for you, bro. And that's just the truth.
Well, you mentioned your album came out on the same time that Kanye dropped College Dropout.
I believe so.
Now, Kanye's second album, Graduation, went head-to-head with 50 Cent. Mm-hmm. It was 50 Cent's second album?
I think it was The Massacre.
Yeah. Remember, like, there was the whole Rolling Stone cover where they're facing each other?
Yeah,
I think 50 even said that if he doesn't outsell Kanye, he's going to quit rapping. But,
right.
He was just trolling, of course. But recently, there was a photo came out with Big Meech, and he's wearing a Kanye graduation jacket. And they're saying that he was trolling 50 by doing that.
I mean, the way I see it, bro, that's the biggest selling week in hip-hop history in a long time, bro. I think Kanye did 900 and 50 did 800, so.
No, it was a huge win for everyone.
Yeah, it was a huge win. You know, so for me, like I said, that was one of the biggest selling weeks in hip-hop. Kanye did 900, I believe 50, like 749 or 800, like that, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about the whole Big Meech situation and Lil Meech situation? Because we talked about it last time, and that's when you brought up the whole, the $10,000 chrome heart jeans.
Right.
I almost feel like we put that into the universe because now everyone's talking about $10,000 jeans after we said that.
Yeah,
like Safari spoke on it because everyone thinks it's insane. $10,000 jeans.
It is insane. Bro.
Yeah,
it is insane. I just look at a situation like everybody's not gonna be loyal to you. It's the rap game. It's the streets. Like there's really not too much loyalty in the game. So, or in people or around people and people's energy. So if you find some loyal people, just stick with them, bro. And that's it.
Well, I interviewed Boosie, And he was supposed to perform at Big Meech's Coming Home concert. He was in Miami at the Louis store a couple hours before showtime, and he got the call that the concert was canceled.
2-3 hours, like, I'm at the Louis store. I'm like, fuck! What the f? I could have saved this $5,000 outfit.
And he said in all his years, he's never seen this before. You know what I mean? Like, concerts get canceled, but not like a couple hours before showtime. And, you know, he said Meech called him, but he was like, I don't talk on the phone about stuff like this. So he's like, yo, I got to hustle. You know, he spent a bunch of his own money getting out there and so forth. And in the interview that, you know, we did also, he said that if he was Lil Meech, he would have sided with his dad.
But, you know, my response, nigga, f you, nigga. Nigga, that's my daddy, nigga, f you, nigga. Nigga, let's go to war, nigga, f you. And everything you, f you. I don't know what Meech was on something. Nigga, that's my paw. I don't give a f. Right, wrong, nigga, I don't give a. Nigga, is it? My son, nigga, I ain't gonna go against this grain. F that.
And 50 actually played that interview on his Instagram, and he responded to Boosie. And he said, I did more for Mimi than anyone in his life, Boosie. That's why he responded like that. If you get locked up, I'm the person he called. Bailed him out every time. When I saw him laughing at his pop post, I said, oh, he's a snake too. He belonged with him. Thoughts on that?
I just feel like, you know, I've been in the game for a long time, like in the industry, and I realized that like everybody's not your friend. Some is just business. And as far as I could say is like my situation with Fifth, like he always looked out for niggas and looked out for niggas around him, you know, but everybody's not gonna be loyal, bro. It's just the game. People is gonna, you know, take the best, I guess, opportunities they feel is best for them.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think 50 even mentioned he sent Lil Meech like acting school, like acting classes. And I think in the beginning he was saying how Meech was high, so he sent him to rehab. And it seemed like 50 really looked out for him a lot.
Right.
So, you know, that is his dad, but
I think sometimes the people just move. It's not a lot of loyalty in this business, man. It's the rap game. I used to think a lot of people in the industry was my friends and realized they're not. Like, not my friends. It was just business.
Give me an example. Give me an example when you found that out.
I mean, when I first got out of jail, I felt like, I was like, damn, you know, I felt good and felt like, you know, a lot of people that was around was my friends, but I realized, like, people that work in the office, they got their own lives, and, you know, I was just a dude that was just happy. You know, I got out of jail. We one of the biggest groups in the world. So for me, I was just on one. I thought everybody was my friend, but everybody's not your friend. You know, a lot of people want to use you to get to certain places, and once they get there, it's over. Like a lot of people, a lot of relationships that I had with people, they wanted to just be cool with me and let me get to the boss man, let me get to 50 Cent. Let me be cool, let me get to the boss man, let me get to Jay-Z. Let me be cool, let me get to the boss man, let me get to this, to VladTV. I don't need you anymore. It's always just known to me as being a cutthroat industry. So them doing that, it's nothing new to me. It's just another day at the office, you know? Sometimes you can't go all out your way for people, you know, because they're not gonna, you know, reciprocate the same way you feel, bro.
Do you feel that Young Buck was your friend?
I feel like at a time we was friends, but you know, certain things that he did, like I just turned him on to associate. I feel like Banks was more my friend. 50 was more my friend because we grew up in the same neighborhood. You know, so he grew up in a whole nother town over. And every time there was drama, honestly, Yayo was the one that had to deal with everything because I was here in New York City. Nobody either said anything or nobody dealt with the altercations. It was always me that had to deal with life was on the line or getting shot up or cars getting shot up or me having to fight or knife fights or me, oh, these want to see me. Like, you even heard Fat Joe say, Yayo was the one we really wanted to catch. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just me. You know what I mean? But so
I love when he said that, by the way. I got a kick out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Buck didn't have to deal with any of the New York politics and New York drama. Out of everybody in G-Unit, I had to deal with the most drama because I was here. I was in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Game was in California, Buck was in Cashville, and I was making the diss records and talking. Because, you know, I just felt at that time I was young and I was on one. I just got out of jail. I was hyped. Like anybody would feel, bro. You know? So, like I said, to be young, sometimes, is you know, you could be on one, you don't want to listen, you hard-headed. You know, I understand, bro.
Well, speaking of New York drama, K-Flock.
Free K-Flock, man.
So, I mean, I guess he beat his murder charge, but he got found guilty in a RICO charge.
Right.
And so there's the RICO, use of a gun.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think New York State should actually have a self-defense? Like, because
stand your ground? 100%.
100%. Because I feel like
in fact, my man Taxstone wouldn't be in jail right now if there was a stand your ground in New York.
This is what I'm saying. I think we should at least have a stand your ground, even if they don't want to make it a gun state, because you have to be a special guy to get a license out here or even get a license, right? Even if it's not a gun state, it should be some kind of self-defense act there or something. And I feel like what the good thing about K-Flock is other people could use that for their case. Know what I mean? That self-defense plea or whatever, which way his lawyer freaked it, we could use that. You could use that for your case now. That'll be implemented in other people's cases because he did beat a body. But if somebody run down on you and they upping it, what the hell? And you protect yourself, yeah, you should be able to beat that. You know?
Well, yeah. So he beat his murder charge, but he was found guilty for racketeering conspiracy, use of a gun resulting in death, attempted murder, assault with a weapon, furtherance of racketeering, use of a firearm for attempted murder, and assault with a dangerous weapon. So he is facing a life sentence for these other charges. Mm-hmm. You know, and look, he did a post. He said, I beat the top count. I made the judge cry. He said now he's now forced to give me life. Alhamdulillah, everything good, not good, and everything bad, not bad. Just got to stay humble to the outcome of your situation. See what Allah got for you. Chin up, chest out. Shit ain't over, nowhere near. Remain a G and stay sucker free. Never fold, never will. Free the real bred ones, kill all rats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, saying kill all rats before you're sentenced is probably not the best.
I mean, maybe
the best phrase.
Maybe he felt like that because they said, I don't know how real this is, but they were saying that a dude that he helped out in the situation supposedly told on him. So it's like, yo, bro, if you do a crime, listen, if you go out there, right, and you commit a crime or about to commit a crime, you should know there's consequences to everything you do, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to fucking tell on the next man because you got caught up, bro. You knew the consequences before you pulled that trigger, carried that gun, broke in that house, stole that car. You know the consequences. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these motherfuckers never been to jail, never did skid bids, never did no time, never did no fed time, state time. Some of them motherfuckers never been to the island, first time on the island. So it's like, bro, and then when they behind bars, they can't take the heat. And when you can't take the heat, what you do?
Cooperate.
Get the fuck out the kitchen. That's what motherfuckers do.
Yeah.
And then the worst thing about sometimes cooperating is you go to jail, you go to the feds, the first thing people ask you is, where's your paperwork? And it'll make your bid. Depending on how the feds treat you, they could put you in a fucked up jail. They could send you to Virginia. They could send you to California. They could send you wherever, bro.
Yeah, man, listen, I hope he gets out. I like K-Flock's music. And if it really was self-defense, because I guess they're saying that the guy was about to pull out his gun, it's like...
Yeah, they got video of the guy coming out the barbershop.
Yo, like, I interviewed, Lil Tim, who killed King Von, but self-defense, stand your ground.
Yeah.
He walked free.
Yeah,
he's out. Georgia.
It works in Georgia and Texas and all the places. Florida, yeah. Stand your ground state.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't work well, the George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin situation, unfortunately. But I think most times it works. And I don't understand why, if you're dealing with a situation where someone's about to pull out a gun and then you protect yourself, then you end up getting life in prison. Like I don't quite understand the logic here.
That's why I said him beating that is kind of good, because people will use that, implement that in their cases if they have any cases.
Yeah, free K-Flock, man. It's sad.
Mm-hmm. Well, nobody want to be sitting on the island.
No.
Wintertime or the summertime.
Well, speaking of drill rappers out of New York, 5-year foreign. You know about this situation?
They said he pulled a gun out on a lady or something.
Yes. On New Year's Day in New Jersey, a woman's car died, I guess, in front of his building. She asked him for a jump start. He pulled out a gun and said, if I see you parked in front of this building again, there's going to be a fucking problem. Witnesses recognized him, called the police, and he's been in jail since January 18th.
That's a crazy case.
It is April 2nd right now.
That's a fucked up and stupid case.
Yo, why would you pull out a gun on a lady because she's parked in front of your building? Like, seriously, like, what are you doing right now?
That's it.
What are you doing?
That sounds crazy, but that's like a bad case.
Well, clearly it's because the VladTV interview he did like 7 years ago. That's the reason why he's locked up. You know what I'm saying? That's what people are gonna say.
No,
I mean, it was like 2000.
Yo, listen,
like 5 years ago. Yeah.
If you pull a gun out on a civilian for no apparent reason, like what the you think is gonna happen? That's just I don't know the story, but if that's supposedly what happened, if you pull a gun out on a civilian in front of your building, what the thing is gonna happen?
I've always been, like, my mind state has always been, I would never pull my gun out unless I'm going to be shooting. That's the only reason to pull a gun out. Like, I'm not waving it around. I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to lift my shirt up and show you that I have it. Like
maybe
that to me is crazy.
Maybe it was high or something, man.
Probably.
But that's still, I'd be high. It's still not no reason to pull a gun out on some lady that broke down in your building. Or maybe he thought it was a car his ops was in. I don't know. But it's a stupid case.
It's stupid. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Now, he's charged with unlawful possession of a weapon, aggravated assault, and terrorist threats. And there's 2 other charges as well that I don't know about. That's a lot of charges.
How much time are you looking at? He never been to jail? Probably
I don't know.
Probably do 4 or 5.
That's a lot of time for a whole lot of nothing.
I mean, for him,
what did you accomplish with that?
You don't want to take a case like that to trial. Whatever they throw on the table, you want to take.
Yeah.
Because you got a lady saying you pulled a gun out on her. And other witnesses, so it's fucked up.
Well, speaking about pulling out guns, A$AP Rocky was found not guilty. Yeah. Now, you and I talked about this. We both agreed.
Once you laid out the evidence,
Listen, but you and I both agreed he should have taken the plea deal.
Yeah.
I still feel that way.
Yeah.
I actually interviewed Joe Tacopina, who was his lawyer.
Oh, wow.
Do you know how much Joe charges? You know lawyer fees. What was the most per hour that you paid a lawyer?
It varies. It depends on the
What's
charge.
the most per hour? And you deal with high-profile lawyers.
Probably like $500 an hour.
Okay. I got a lawyer right now. I pay her $950 an hour. Okay?
It's a lot.
How much does Joe Tacopina charge? I asked him. How much do you think?
I would say $5,000 an hour.
What is your hourly rate as the principal in your law firm?
$2,400 an hour.
How much?
$2,400 an hour.
Yeah, see,
I've never heard of a price like this.
I was close there.
You were close. You were
close.
actually close.
Lawyers cost money.
Have you ever heard of these type of prices before?
Yeah, that's why 9 times out of 10 with lawsuits, people just like to just
settle
and pay out the people because a guy is suing you. You might spend $500,000 on lawyers, on $500,000 on lawyers before it even happens.
Joe Tacopina worked on the A$AP Rocky case for 3 years. He actually moved his whole office to LA so he could work on it full time.
Definitely.
He probably walked away with like $5 million.
Yeah,
you know, and I tell you, I was mentioning multiple Richard Mille watches he had in his interviews and Rolexes, and I'm like, okay, he balling for real, okay.
Yeah, he balling. I mean,
he balling for real.
At $2,400 an hour, yeah, that adds up, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like, he was also Trump's lawyer at one point.
Oh, wow.
And you know who his mentor was?
Who?
Johnny Cochran.
Wow.
After Johnny beat the OJ case, he set up an office in New York and he took him under his wing. You know what I'm saying? I asked him if he ever asked Johnny about if OJ did it or not. He goes, I never asked him.
Johnny Cochran, the greatest to ever do it.
The greatest ever to do it.
Greatest to ever do it.
But look, like, what he proved, okay, look, you and I had multiple conversations about this, because when we were talking about the whole Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion case, you said you've never heard of anyone take a trial when they shot somebody and the victim was willing to take the stand against them.
Right.
Now, in this case, the victim took the stand against Rocky, but I think most people felt that A$AP Rocky was lying.
Remember, that was before, but the whole thing was, after you told me he like picked up the bullets from the range, and then we seen the scratch on the hand, then it was like, all right, cool, this is like sounding kind of funny.
Well, right, because you know, you talked about you never seen anyone get shot and the shooter actually take it to trial and think they're going to win. But I don't think A$AP Rocky was actually shot.
Yeah, he wasn't shot. Remember,
he was
had a
faking his
scratch.
injuries.
Yeah, so we knew that, and we predicted that he was going to beat the case after you presented the evidence of him picking up the shells and all of them. Like, that was crazy.
The defense was that it was a fake gun. It was a starter pistol. And I told Joe in our interview, I said, I honestly don't really believe this defense very much, because who walks into a hostile situation with a fake gun? It almost becomes more dangerous for you.
Right.
But in his case, he was like, oh no, he had this fake gun and he couldn't afford security, you know, and I'm like, I would never in my life carry around a fake gun. Would you?
Oh, nah. only on the movie set.
I would never even do it.
Only
I remember.
on the movie set,
Listen,
bro.
I remember I was in Las Vegas, and I carry pepper spray around me sometimes, right? But I'm in Vegas, and you can't take it on planes, on carry-on. So I'm like, all right, I'll just get some pepper spray when I'm in Vegas. I go to this gun store, and the only pepper spray they had like a gun grip on it. So it's like a gun grip, and the pepper spray kind of goes into it, and you kind of shoot it almost like a gun, but it's pepper spray. And I said, I don't want this. This looks too close to a gun. Like, I'm gonna pull this out. People think I have a gun on me. Like,
get your ass shot.
I'm gonna get shot.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want this. I'm cool. I'll just, I'll just lay low for the next couple of days.
Hell yeah.
But I was like, I don't want anything resembling a gun on me, unless it's a real gun. Doesn't make any sense, as far as I'm concerned.
Man, like, yo, prop gun in the hood, you getting killed, man.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of anyone pulling out a fake gun? Like, anyone carrying fake guns?
Back in the days, motherfuckers just try to rob niggas with BB guns, get their ass shot, their ass beat the fuck up or shot. But that was
wait,
about
so
it.
you heard of someone try to rob someone with a BB gun, and then what happens?
Yeah, I mean, they either, some people fall for it, some people get beat the fuck up, some people get shot back in the days.
Huh.
BB guns, you know? Motherfucker look at the barrel and tell like fake.
Oh, yeah, it's got a little orange thing at the end.
Yeah. Motherfucker hit you with this. Yo, if you scared, they gonna get you.
That's
hit you with the BB gun on the waist. Give it up.
Sean Kingston and his mother had been found guilty of fraud totaling more than $1 million. Like, I've known Sean Kingston since he started.
I remember him coming to 50 House way back
Really?
in the days, like when he first blew up.
Okay.
It's my guy. Yeah.
Cool guy. I got nothing bad to say about him. In fact, like, me and Zach Katz, who was the co-owner of the label, Beluga Heights, that he was signed to, have been friends forever. In fact, Zach Katz used to fuck with G-Unit. He used to manage Denon Porter.
Yeah, so I got to know him because...
Yeah, it's a white dude.
Yeah, because one time Sean Kingston came to 50 House, the mansion in CT. I remember being in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure he's met you guys. He also, Jonathan Rodham is also the partner. He's the one that produced everything. I just interviewed him recently. But Sean really had hit records.
Yeah.
And he was writing stuff for Justin Bieber.
Of course.
And he was always a cool dude. I remember I went to a party of his, the Hollywood Hills. Like, we know each other. We've done interviews. You know, we didn't keep in contact, but, you know, I DM him every so often. He'd hit me back.
Big artist.
Cool
big
dude.
Records.
Why do you think someone who makes legal money and could do shows and, could put out more music starts to scam on the side?
I mean, sometimes I feel like it's the pressure of the industry and keeping up with like the Joneses and, you got to get Richard Millie's and like it goes back to the $10,000 jeans and, you know what I mean? I'm a real nigga. I don't feel like I need none of that like that. But there was a time in life where that's what it was all about. I got to get the Jacob watch. I need the chain. I need that. So you be trying to keep up with I don't know if that's the case with him. And people just get caught up, spend money. And when you're a celebrity and you f***ed up, right? What can you do? You can't just go get a regular job. You can't.
Sean wasn't f***ed up like that. But then again, we don't know what his debts were.
Yeah, but
right?
What I'm saying is, look, you get caught up in the scamming or whatever it is, may be. One thing I learned is every artist don't need a big overhead. And what I mean is you could get a nice house, live simple, get a little bit of jewelry, get the cars you want, and be good. A lot of artists be in competition, as well as the streets, niggas be in competition for other niggas and for bitches that don't give a fuck about them. That's one thing I realized, bro. Neither be in competition for other niggas in the streets that don't give a fuck about you or bitches that don't give a fuck about you. So for me, even if times came up hard, you could always do some shows. You might not get the same money. You might not get the same
do
clout.
some features.
Yeah, do some features. Whatever gets you
go
by.
overseas where the money's a little higher.
Once you're high profile, you're on the radar, no matter what you do.
Well, look, he, like I said, over $1 million was scammed. He ripped off a car dealership for a $160,000 Cadillac Escalade. He ripped off jewelers for $480,000. And you hear about this, like jewelers will let you hold something,
they'll
and
give
then
it to you. They'll give you
back.
cars. The dealer will give you cars. It doesn't matter. But after the time when they don't get their paid or they're gonna fucking file that lawsuit. And then
they're gonna file criminal charges.
Yeah, your criminal charges. Yep.
And then a lawsuit second.
Lawsuit second. You're right.
Yeah, and the thing is that when Sean Kingston got signed, his mom was in prison for scamming already.
I didn't know that.
No, there's a long history of this type of thing. So he grew up in this type of environment. So his mom was in prison for scamming. I remember because I was around during that time. She gets out, and now her son is making all this legal money, and somehow both of them get back into scamming again. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I would hope his mom wouldn't stare him that way because that's not the right way to stare him.
Yeah.
Scamming, taking other people's money, you're going to get caught up regardless later on down the line, especially being a high-profile person.
Everyone knows
you're
who
not
you
a
are.
regular person.
Yeah.
This is what we got to understand is us being artists and being people that are in the limelight. It's going to be magnified when we do some more than anything than just being a regular person doing it. So you're going to get caught if that's the case because he's innocent until proven guilty.
Oh, no, he's been proven guilty.
Oh, shit.
He's been found guilty, and they're both facing 20 years each.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. You can't say this whole innocent proven guilty.
Hopefully.
They went to trial, and they lost.
Oh, they went to trial? Oh, yeah.
And they lost.
I would have copped out to that.
Cop out was probably like 10 years or something like that. It's a long time.
10 years in the feds is not bad for when you in there with people with natural life. But going to trial, yeah, they might be. Damn, Sean Kingston. I didn't even know that.
Oh, you didn't know? Nah, man, it's messed up. It's messed up. Like, I could imagine.
No, you know what's messed up? When a judge tell you, when they start counting the months, they don't tell you years. They be like
384 months.
Yeah, 400, 500
400
months. You just start going, fucking
do the math.
That's what I avoid, huh?
I get it. Okay, look. You're broke. You have no education. You never went to college. You don't have no, any job history. You're just trying to find some type of way to get by. So you scam, right? Because, and I've known people like this. I grew up with people like this. They just never work. They just scam, right? But when you actually are a talent and have hit records and can get legal show money, and you have songs that are still generating money, and you could make new songs, you have actual fans, why would you do anything illegal at that point? It's like counterproductive. It's like you're swimming the wrong way. You're scoring goals on your own team.
But the whole thing is, Vlad, when people's on their last leg, you ain't no telling what they could do. You know what they would do. I know what you saying. I understand.
But it wasn't even like, okay, like I get it. You're scamming to pay your rent.
It's like, you know how the industry, all right, you a star. You in the industry. There's no sympathy for a person that made it, right? So you a star. Number one, you don't want to ask industry people because you're too embarrassed, because you know that all they're going to do. Listen, all the industry people is going to do is talk behind your back, talk bad. Yeah, he came to borrow money from me, knowing you was just up millions and could probably make millions again. But yeah, he came and borrowed money from me. He fucked up, da-da-da. He gonna go tell 20 niggas you fucked up, tell 20 different people in the industry niggas that you fucked up. And what do? They're gonna have the whole industry. Yeah, Sean Kingston fucked up. I told him to save his money. I told him to do this. I told him to do that. And now you got 100 niggas talking bad about you. So now he goes in, you go in your shell, you're like, man, I gotta get it on my own, man. You go get change, you go get cars, you scam, do whatever you do supposedly, but you got found guilty, so I guess you're guilty. And you trying to impress niggas that don't give a fuck about you and bitches that don't give a fuck about you. See, that's where the game is fucked up. Stop trying to impress people that don't give a fuck about you. What do rappers do when they get money or get a new car? Because I've done it. Oh, I got my car. I'm going to go to the hood to show off. Oh, I got the Bentley. Oh, you go to the hood, you show off to niggas that don't got it. Some niggas do got it. But 9 times out of 10, niggas ain't never seen this type of car in his fucking neighborhood. So it's like, niggas show up. We get money and we show off for niggas that don't got it to throw it in their face. Come on, bro. And then you trying to keep up with the Joneses, because there's always going to be somebody that got more money.
Look, I can understand, once again, okay, I'm doing this to pay my rent, but I went through some of this case and like, he bought a 200-inch TV.
But that's dumb. I wouldn't.
I have, in my new spot, I have a 98-inch TV.
Right.
Right? It costs like, I don't know,
TV's a
$2,000 or something.
Yeah, TV's cheap.
But a 200-inch TV, like once you get past 100 inches,
you might as well just go get a projector.
You're like that 200-inch TV is probably like $30,000. You don't need you're going to jail over a 200-inch TV.
You might as well just go buy a projector or some shit.
Or a projector. I mean, or how about you just go get an 85-inch? You can get it for like $1,500 now.
You know, Sean Kingston was getting a lot of money since a kid, so he probably was spending money as a kid and got older and slowed up and realized you mishandle money, and it happens, man. You got young black dudes with a lot of money, bro. What do you think? This, of course, is gonna. I fucked up money. Everybody fucked up money.
Yeah, and your mom. Like, I've never heard of his dad being around, so I mean, I don't know. I've just always heard about his mom. I'm not saying his dad's not around, but I've just never heard his dad getting mentioned by anybody around him. But if your only parent is your mom is a scammer, you probably don't think it's all that weird to scam because you grew up in that.
Yeah, but once you're an artist and once you're in that limelight, you're public property. You can't be scamming, brother. You can't be doing it.
I agree. You don't hear me scamming.
Police know who you are. Everybody knows who you are, bro. There's nothing you could possibly do when you're a star in a limelight, bro. You're being watched.
Well, the guy who killed Trouble, you know about this whole story?
Yeah, he got caught at his girl, baby father.
So Trouble goes back to this girl's house. He meets at the club. Her, baby father shows up. Altercation happens. He kills Trouble.
Yeah, I fuck with Trouble music too. He's all.
No, Trouble. I mean, him and Boosie are super close.
Yeah,
like, Boosie cried when he heard that.
Yeah, it's fucked up. But you gotta understand. Being the artist, we are the target. So if you fuck the wrong nigga, it's not like a regular nigga is fucking your baby moms or your girl now. Now you got a celebrity that got cars or whatever, or got clout, is fucking your bitch now. And you seen this nigga on TV, you see him on radio. So of course it's elevated. The hate is elevated. That's why even with the wrong chick could get you killed in this world, bro. You seen it plenty of times.
Yeah. Well, his name is Jamichael Jones. He pleaded guilty actually, so I guess it's a plea deal. Family violence battery, possessing a gun during a felony, malice murder, criminal damage to property, and aggravated assault. Getting 20 years. And look, I've talked about the story before. I mean, something similar happened like this with me. Like I was at a girl's house and her ex-boyfriend storms in and tries to kill me. And, I thought, I'd killed him in self-defense as I walked out of the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gets extremely crazy. This is why if you meet a girl, get a hotel, or maybe take her to your house if you live in a secure location.
Yeah.
But don't go to her house until you really know her.
Exactly, because it could get dangerous.
It can get very dangerous.
That's from the beginning of time. Remember Biggie said it. What was that? Get over niggas' bitches and niggas' cribs.
What's that song? Story to tell.
Yeah, story to tell. Been talking about that. Going over girl house, yeah, the wrong female, definitely get you killed in any situation.
Yeah. Have you ever been caught up at a girl's house?
Nah.
Never?
Nah.
You don't go to girl's house?
Nah. I move different, man. I move militant, bro. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll meet you somewhere. I would never, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. I don't have to go to a girl's house. Don't trust, you can't trust it. They got boyfriends, baby fathers that will fuck, some of them will kill you over pussy, bro. That's just the way life is. And some niggas look at it like, yo, it's not worth it. I kill you. You gonna be dead, I'm gonna be in jail, and she just gonna be fucking somebody else.
Right. But she's someone else right now.
Yeah, so.
Right now.
That's
she
how
got a BBL
that's the
or
fucked
whatever.
up thing about it. You know what I mean?
What did you think about the whole LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith situation?
I mean, it's funny as fuck. It's entertainment. Everybody want to know what LeBron said, and then, you know, Stephen A., you know, he's the king of pop and shit. So, you know. But to me, the good thing about it is Bronnie stepped it up after all that shit. Niggas,
yeah.
Sometimes negative energy could turn into something positive because everybody was shitting on Bronnie. And he's scoring 39 in the G League, scored 17 and all kind of assists in this game. So sometimes you need the hate for you to step it up. Sometimes I need that energy. I need somebody to hate to make me step my shit up. And that's just how I felt about that situation.
I mean, but do you think, like, it was justified for LeBron to confront Stephen A. Smith about his son when his son is now a Laker and is now a public figure?
Oh, I mean, yeah, his son is public property, but you know, like his public property, anybody could say what they want to say about him.
Right.
But at the end of the day, for LeBron, that's still his son, and what he did is one of the biggest things in NBA history. You know what I'm saying? You got LeBron playing with his son. We would love to see Melo play with his son. Love Melo's son. Melo's son got game.
Yeah, but Melo's retired at this point.
Yeah, I know, but that was something that, if you see LeBron playing with his son, that's something that we would just love to see. Even, you know what I mean? Melo and his son, because his son is like the next one up.
I mean, but look, at the end of the day, your son is a Laker. So he has to withstand what a Laker,
listen,
every other player on the team has to deal with in terms of the media.
Right.
If you suck, then people are going to talk about it.
Yeah. Celebrity, ball player, basketball player, baseball player, hockey player, rapper, model, YouTuber, we're all public property. Anybody could say what they want to say.
Right.
About you or anything. People say shit about me all the time, and I just be like, all right, cool. It doesn't bother me. When you let it bother you, that's when it fucks with you, you know. But from what I've seen from Bronnie, he played way better after all the hate.
Right.
Sometimes you need some fucking hate. You need some haters.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that the thing about the NBA is they set out and say, oh, it's all fair, we have rules, but the rules are always being bent for superstar players. Mm-hmm. You know, Bronnie, I don't think deserved to be on the Lakers in terms of his raw ability in the draft. You know, another team may have gotten him first, but it was like LeBron basically said, I want my son on the team. And he I think he even threatened to leave if his son didn't get on the team.
I mean, it's LeBron James.
It's LeBron James. And LeBron even talked about it when he did Pat McAfee's show. He said, look, we want to say it's fair, but when he, during the draft, suddenly, the Cavaliers suddenly got the #1 draft pick. He's like, really? That coincidence? My hometown suddenly got me as the draft pick? Like, really?
Right.
We know what's happening there.
Right.
They just thought it was a good look for him to play at home and whatever else. So a lot of it is really rigged to, the NBA works around the superstars. to make them, give them what they
You
want.
don't feel like every system is like that?
Yeah, every system's like that.
The rappers,
Yeah.
the music industry works around the superstars. Wrestling, they work around the superstars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just feel like, hey, this guy is considered the GOAT. So they're going to give him what the fuck he wants. Let his son play on the bench, cool. Play the G League, it's not a big deal. It's LeBron.
Well, after LeBron did his interview, Stephen A. Smith said that if LeBron had put his hands on him, that he would have swung on him.
I mean, Stephen A. He from Queens. He ain't pussy. You know what I mean? Southside Jamaica, baby.
Yo, LeBron.
He ain't pussy, but fighting LeBron is it's not good for your health either. So no matter how old he is.
LeBron posted a video of Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, fighting, punching man slow.
Punching a
Yeah.
bag. Like, this is just a new kind of LeBron. Like, Gilbert Arenas was on my show. And he was like, yo, LeBron is kind of trolling for the first time in his career. He never used to do that. He used to always be like above it all.
This is LeBron that's, at the end of his career where he gets to do kind of what he wants, right? I mean, at this point, you figure like, man, whoever don't want me as a GOAT, yeah, I'm not going to change it. There's nothing I can do for changing your mind. I've been doing this for 22 years at a high level, and y'all are just saying this is longevity.
Yeah, it was funny. The womp 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 and all shit. Key Glock, rest in peace, Dolph. That was definitely funny. But it's all entertainment. And look, Stephen A. had more shit to talk about after that. So it's all entertainment. It's all content. We don't mind. But yeah, that's his son. No matter what, he gonna say something. Even though, like you said, Bronnie is public property.
Yeah,
we can say what we want and do what we want. You do have a point with that.
Yeah.
And Stephen A, he's the media. He can do what he want. I do watch Stephen A show. I watch all them shows, so I mean, it's entertainment. But like you said, Bronnie is public property. Anybody can say what the fuck they want to say. Just like how you can talk about me, they can talk about you, Vlad. They can talk about Bronnie. They can talk about anybody. J-Lo, they don't give a fuck who it is.
What do you think of Luka going to the Lakers?
I feel like it was a good trade.
It was the craziest trade in NBA history.
Yeah, Luka always wanted to play with LeBron, so. And then LeBron's getting older, so they like, yo, we got to think of the future. Luka's young, he's in his 20s. He got good basketball experience from overseas, so.
Yeah. I mean, when I mentioned this to Boosie, and he's only talking about his lifetime, but
Boosie only go to Atlanta Hawk games, so you can't.
No, but what he said was he's never seen, the face of the Lakers be a white guy.
Long as I've been living, I've never seen a white boy be the face of the Lakers. He might hurt his ankle. It's a jinx. It's a fucking jinx. I ain't never seen a white boy be the face of the Lakers. It just don't seem right. It just don't fucking seem right. If he would have went anywhere else, I would have had it, but it's just janky. I ain't never seen a white boy be the face of the Lakers.
Now, if you go, 40 years ago, then, you have white players who are dominating the Lakers.
Right.
What's his name?
So what he's saying, because of Magic, Kobe,
Kareem,
Shaq.
Magic, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron. I mean, before him, was it Jerry West? Yeah, there we go. Jerry West. Was
now
the big
that
dog.
you think about it, he got a point, though.
Yeah, no. But Boosie's like 40. So in his lifetime, he's never seen a white guy, lead the Lakers. Do you think Luka could do it?
I think Luka could do it. That's one of my favorite players. I mean, he had experience since he was 16 playing in Europe. I think he won a chip out there. He was playing at 15, 16. Remember them kids? They be playing like in the league super early. You know what I mean? So I think he could do it. And look at the trade. I mean, it was kind of a good trade, even though I like AD. But come on, AD was hurt. Once he went to Dallas, he's just getting better. And Kyrie got hurt. So for them, and that was a good trade because Luka is not hurt.
Yeah. What do you think of Jokic, though? The first ever 30-20-20 triple-double.
Oh, I seen that game.
Ever.
I seen that game. I mean, he's the truth, man. He's the humble giant, Come on, he's the most humblest guy in the NBA, bro. He's like, he act like he doesn't even care that they won a chip that first time, and he just like one of them working guys. Just wants to work, and just see him with his family, and he's just humble. Even if he gets it, he'd be like, oh, nothing. We have another game tomorrow. he doesn't even care. So it's just, you see how humble he is. It's just like compelling.
Yeah, I mean, Gilbert says something interesting. And listen, Gilbert was a all-star NBA player.
Gilbert
So
Arenas,
when it comes to
legend,
this, like,
his son is nice too.
yeah, he is.
His son is nice.
He is. Yeah. In fact, like, he was supposed to do an interview with me, but he had to cancel last minute because he had a meeting to talk about his son's NIL deal.
Yes, yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Because
They're really
they
doing
getting
it.
paid in college now. They're making millions before they even get to the league.
Yeah, but what he said was, you kind of have this interesting phenomenon where when you look at like when you look at the top white players throughout history, like the Larry Birds and the John Stocktons, they all kind of emulated black players, right? And there's really not a lot of top-notch white guys. But now you have these European whites that play different. And that's how they're coming in and dominating the game.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you almost have like a new phenomenon happening because they play different. They're not trying to emulate the American players. They have their own kind of rhythm, and that's why they're doing what they're doing.
Because the American white has adapted the black game, right? They're more athletic, so they're using athleticism now versus the fundamentals. So the foreigner still has the fundamentals because they're not athletic. So you're talking about, like, think about the foreigner, Dirt, right? You're talking about Luka. You're talking about Jokic, right? You know, these guys aren't very athletic, so it's basically skill based.
Yeah, a lot of good players is coming from like other places, bro.
Right.
Look at Gildress. Gildress from Canada, ain't
he? Yeah, the Greek freak.
Yeah.
I mean,
Giannis.
Yeah.
I hope we get him in New York though.
Possibly.
I hope we get him. If we get him, oh man, we need that.
Yeah.
Let's go, Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks. Baby just was at the game.
Yeah. They're going to the finals this year?
I hope so. You know, we playing good. We should be going, though. We playing good. I got faith. I'm at every Knick game damn near. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely, shout out to the Garden of Dreams. They help out the kids there. Charity out there. Shout out to them and shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to my man Dre. Shout out to the Garden, baby. Big bodega. Yeah, but we get Giannis, we'll be good.
Well, I mean, speaking of overseas, one of my VladTV YouTube members, AC Slater 727, said, since you're the Passport Boys president, if you had to pick a country to live in outside the U.S., which one would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a
good question, right?
Good question.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You've been to how many countries? I've been to like 50 countries. How many have you been to?
I'm going to tell you if I had
You've been to like 100 countries, I think?
Yeah, I'd say about 100.
Yeah.
I would say where I would live and why, I would live in Gold Coast, Australia.
Okay, I've been there.
And the reason
it's nice. Okay.
Yeah, I like it. It's like the Miami, Australia. It's very nice weather. And you can smoke weed in Australia. It's not bad. The weed rules ain't bad. You can smoke. But I would say Gold Coast, Australia. I would do Australia right there. Or Paris.
See, the problem with Australia is that it's just so far.
That's what I like.
That flight, what is it, like a 17-hour flight?
Yeah, it's like damn near 20 hours. But that's the whole thing is nobody want to fly out to bother you.
No, and you're a superstar when you land. If you're American,
yeah,
like I was being treated like Jay-Z when I was DJing out there.
Yeah, I was
doing big venues, like
you said, the flight is far, but I love, like, that's one of the places that I love to go is Australia. But I would do Gold Coast, Australia, because like Miami on steroids out there, and the cars, and they're not like strict on weed and stuff like that. I would say Dubai, but Dubai is strict on weed, strict laws. I would say Paris, but Paris gets real cold. Yeah, so I go with Gold Coast, Australia.
Well, NBA YoungBoy is out.
Yeah, free NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah, he's out of prison, transferred to an unknown location.
Mm-hmm.
And the RIAA actually recognized YoungBoy as the most successful rapper of the past decade because he has 8 platinum albums with like no promotion, no playlisting, no radio play, all underground. Like, I feel like NBA YoungBoy has the best. Like, yeah. I think he has the career everyone wants.
NBA YoungBoy puts out so much music, it almost feels like a new version of Tupac. Because he got so many albums and so much music and a catalog, and he got the women, he got the cars, and he got that I don't give a attitude that everybody loves, bro. My favorite song is Make No Sense. I think I'm a Gucci man like 2006.
Oh, yeah.
Makes no sense, yeah. Make no sense, yeah. He got a lot of records though I fuck with.
Well, I like his album with Quando Rondo. I thought that was their best project, period.
I gotta listen.
I'm
listening to the young dudes. I'm listening to a lot of rappers that passed. Like I got into Bloodhound Little Jeff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do a Bloodhound Q50 tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking with them. Bloodhound Q50, Lil Vert. I'm listening to. I'm getting into the Blood Brothers album. I kind of like that. I like the show he got with G Herbo. To me, that that was like one of G Herbo's hottest verses, like for the year to me. So I started getting the Bloodhound Lil Jeff a little bit. I like it.
Well, Sauce Walka and his artist Say So P.
Rest in peace, Say So.
Were caught in a shootout in Memphis, and Say So P died.
Yeah.
Sauce Walka got shot in the leg, I think.
Yeah.
They're saying it was actually a targeted attack because the rumor was that Say So P had like run off on the plug.
Yeah, there was
for
plenty of rumors.
200,000 or something.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's true or not, but I mean, people don't just get randomly shot like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a reason behind it. So, what's crazy is one of the suspects that did the shooting was found dead the other day in Houston.
Yeah, right.
In Houston.
Right.
So, okay, so a guy stole from you, you killed him, then you die a few days later. Doesn't seem like it's worth it.
If that's the guy, he's probably just taking the hit. You never know what that was.
I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is too high profile. Sauce Walka's too big of an artist.
Right.
Like, you start shooting rappers. I mean, who's gotten away with killing a rapper? The only rapper murder I've heard of that's still unsolved is Draco the Ruler.
Ain't Tupac and Biggie, huh?
Well, Tupac is currently, the whole Keefe situation.
And Biggie.
You're right, Biggie. Biggie's unsolved. I'm still not sure who killed Biggie. They're saying that it was
the police in LA. LAPD.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think it's the police. They're saying it's one of the Pyru Bloods that were associated with Suge. He's dead now.
Yeah, he was the police. They said.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We'll never know, man. With LAPD, you'll never know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. They found his body in Houston. That's the strange thing. Ain't he from Memphis? The shooting happened from Memphis.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unless the shooter was from Houston and drove to Memphis and found him.
I really don't know the story. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, Sauce Walker's doing interviews saying that he's not going to retaliate and, it's whatever else. But, that's what he should be saying right now.
Yeah, I've seen that interview. Of course.
That's what he should be saying right now.
That's
He's
right.
saying,
shout out to
I
the
don't
Sauce,
have any
man.
animosity. I'm happy to be alive. I don't know what happened to that guy. Like, that's what he should be saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, But, we mentioned the Tupac situation. Keefe D, he tried to get his case thrown out. And in the process, he submitted a bunch of his own paperwork. And you find out that Keefe D's been cooperating since 1998. We went through the paperwork, because here's the thing. In the paperwork, it said that Reggie Wright Jr. was responsible for Tupac's murder. So I brought in Reggie Wright Jr. And now, my first question is why'd you kill Tupac? The number one question, why did you kill Tupac?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that's the new theme, man. It really is.
And he was like, yes, this paperwork, blah, blah. So basically in the paperwork, it said that Suge Knight was running a drug operation, and when he went to jail, Reggie Wright Jr. took it over, and him and Compton cops were killing people. He was naming some of the people they allegedly killed, and blah, blah. And it's like, he's been cooperating this whole time. The whole audio of him talking about the murder, that was 10 years later.
So
he had been cooperating.
Why are they snatching him up now again?
Well, because of all the interviews and the books and everything else like that.
Yeah, because
but he had been cooperating against the death row guys forever.
Wasn't he trying to sell like bullets online that killed Tupac?
No, that's not true. That's a rumor.
I'm just saying, yo, motherfuckers get carried away, man.
Yeah.
Keefe, we done heard you was in that car. I done heard that story a million times for years.
I mean, he actually said that Diddy killed Tupac and Suge killed Biggie. There's paperwork that says that.
Yo. Crazy, son.
If you look at all the people that you've known that were involved in criminal activities, not just every so often, but were, basically they're lifelong criminals. How many of them cooperated? What percentage?
0.
Seriously, you don't know anyone cooperated?
Nah.
Really? Everyone around you has been standing strong and doing life sentences?
I've never been around nobody that cooperated.
Really?
Nah.
Huh.
I mean, there was niggas in the hood that cooperated, but they wasn't my friends, wasn't my mans. They were just niggas that I knew in passing. You see plenty of niggas cooperate, but it wasn't none of my niggas. It'd be niggas in the hood that'll tell. That's just what it is, because we learned as youngins is you don't tell.
So no one around you that passed away after their death, like paperwork comes out and nothing, huh? So
there's people that I know that told there's paperwork out on them, right? But they're not really associated with me. They're just people I know in the hood in passing or heard about, yo, he might have said this and might have said that. And I don't like to judge unless I see somebody's paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, plenty of people in the hood told, don't get me wrong, but they ain't none of my friends. They was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Because G-Unit was pretty deep at one point.
Oh yeah, it was in 2000 now. But
see, none of those 2,000 ever told?
Nah.
Really? None of those 2,000? I don't believe you. I honestly just don't believe you. I don't believe you could have 2,000 people around you involved in criminal activity nobody told.
I'm not saying involved in criminal activity, but a lot of motherfuckers that are not built like that are not doing criminal activity. Everybody around wasn't a gangster out of everybody around. Some of carried bags. Some of had knowledge of computers. Some of had knowledge of this. They was basically some civilians. Now look, if you're a criminal, right?
Maserati Fox was not a civilian.
Oh, definitely not. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man. I like the guy.
See, he's
I like
not.
the guy.
Maserati Fox is not telling. Maserati Fox type of take a 5-year bid and turn it into a 10-year bid in jail. So he's not telling. That's the type of niggas I'm talking about. But if you're a civilian and you're regular, you tell. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's just the lifestyle you live.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, seems like you guys really carefully pick the people around you.
Motherfuckers made up story. Yo, fake charges on Ja Rule and certain went to make fake paperwork and all this type of shit back then and there. Ain't never tell on nobody, bro. Especially them. Like, come on, bro. Like, just keep it 100. Like, it's just the way of the street. Especially you from New York City. Nobody really telling. Now it's telling. So I can't even say they not. Now motherfuckers telling. Never realized that shit had in all the places. London, Compton, New York. I never even realized that. Sign.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, of course, man.
Me being for the sign all the time. I never realized that. Miami, Los Angeles.
Well, your last interview that you came in for, you were wearing a Pooh Shiesty. And that became a meme.
Yeah, it became a meme.
Yeah. And I'll show it on the screen right now. It says, what's the age limit to wear a Shiesty? 20, 30, 42, 60.
Listen, this is what I didn't realize. There was an age limit on being cold. That day was one of the coldest days in New York. I don't wear a Pooh Shiesty as a fashion statement. I wear a Pooh Shiesty when it's cold. When it's freezing outside. When I'm in the Swiss Alps, it was cold as hell. We on mountains. I'm gonna use something to put on my face. No diddy. No mean pause. But you know what I mean? Like I didn't know there was an age limit on being cold, man. But I'll fall back from the Pooh Shiesties if that's what y'all want. I got y'all.
Well, I think 50 Cent actually posted it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, listen.
I mean, why not, man? I mean, listen, like, remember, and I'm going to try to play it. Hopefully it won't get copyright strike. But, you know, there was a Will Smith music video, and they kind of interspliced our interview with the lyrics.
Shout to Will Smith.
Because Will Smith is talking that gangster shit, and it's got your face like...
Save all the jokes for me, cause it ain't a joke to me. I pull up with gang, they gon' turn around and make a toast to me. Straight out of Philly, I came out the...
You're a multi-billionaire. Come on, get out of here. So, listen, everybody's opinionated, but I looked at the Pooh Shiesty as more of like when I'm cold. I'm not wearing a Pooh Shiesty in the summertime. You don't catch me wearing that. But when it's cold outside, yeah, I'm going to throw that on. That shit do justice.
Yeah, man, listen, I personally don't care, but I mean, you've gotten memed more times on VladTV than like anything you've ever done.
Yes.
Put together.
Yeah, I'm always
like your whole life outside VladTV does not get memed as much as VladTV gets you memed.
That was that name, and that was our very first interview years ago, and they're still going to that one. But it's shout out to everybody at Vlad. Shout out to everybody that watch my interviews and tell me they love me on Vlad. I'm coming with my own podcast soon. Vlad is going to help me. So y'all stay tuned and watch this movie make. I already got a location. I'm just figuring out cameras and all that because I want to make it perfect for you guys.
Man, listen, since our last interview, I launched the VladTV YouTube Masterclass.
Shout out VladTV YouTube Masterclass.
Yes.
Y'all make sure y'all go watch that for real.
Yeah. And, as part of this membership tier, it's $100 a month, and it's crazy how many members we have in like less than a month.
Right.
Like I was really like wondering if I should do it or not. It's the $100 price point is something we haven't done before.
I think I'm gonna spend my $100 so I could.
Well, I mean, the regular membership is $5. That's where you get the interviews early.
Okay.
So we went from $5 to $100. So I didn't know how I was going to react. But literally, we have a lot of members now, and I do like live sessions on weekends sometimes where I review people's YouTube channels and everything else like that. But not only do I release classes every month, but I also, when I interview people, they have a successful YouTube channel, I'll do an exclusive segment with them that's only going to be on the masterclass membership behind the paywall. So the first one was with Akademiks. The next one we're dropping is with Terrence Gangster Williams. He shows how he made $350,000 off YouTube, fresh out of prison, right? In his bedroom, after his VladTV interview. But the next one we're dropping after that is my man Gilbert Arenas, where he breaks down how he makes $20 million a year on his YouTube channel.
Damn.
He pulled out his phone. I said, do you make more off sponsorships or YouTube? He's like, oh, way more on sponsorships. I'm like, how much you make off sponsorships? He's like, 1.1 million a month.
Whew. I
said, how much you make off YouTube? He's like, I don't even know. Let me check. He pulled out his phone, went on YouTube Studio, and showed the phone on the screen. Last month he made $300,000. He's only been doing it for like 2 years.
Gilbert Arenas, we need to talk.
But Gilbert took it seriously. He live streams because he basically was like, all right, so what's missing in the sports space? A live show, a serious basketball live show that streams every single day.
Yeah.
So he got a crew together. He built a studio in his house every day for like 4 hours.
I seen him shooting hoops in the backyard, drinking fucking...
Yeah, no, he's got cameras all over his house. I'm supposed to do
drinking cognac.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm supposed to do a show. And he really took it seriously. And he streams like 40 hours a week. He does a stream here. He does this other channel. He's got sponsorship. Like he's taking it seriously. He gets big guests. Steph Curry's been on his show. Stephen A. Smith is on his show. I'm about to be on the show. Yeah, I do numbers too. And but it's just ill because he was worth $100 million before he started. Like we're poor as compared to Gilbert, right?
And he's grinding.
And yet he's outworking both of us.
So I'm trying to tell you, I got to step my shit up, man.
I felt lazy as hell listening to him explain it.
Well, you know what? We gotta. Maybe I might go to the show with you when you go, man.
Yeah.
Cause I want to, or I might pay the $100 and get the masterclass myself.
Get the masterclass.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the link is below.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/VladTV/join and choose the masterclass option.
Yeah,
money well spent.
Money well spent. Masterclass. Y'all check Vlad out. I can't get the information from him every day, so you know what? I'm gonna check the masterclass out so I could go check Arenas and all the other people we have up there and how they make money. Cause listen, You said how much a month? How much you make?
How much he makes?
$1 million? You said $1 million? 20 million a year?
He makes like 1.4 million a month, about 20 million a year.
I need to talk to Mr. Zero. I got him, bro. Number
Agent Zero.
Got him. Let's make it happen. What episode is this, Vlad? We done?
We done.
We done.
That's what it is. Tony Yayo. Another VladTV classic in the can.
Look out for me, baby.
Until next time. Peace.